and what was going on with that in the context of something else. I don't think he should be asked in ways either. I think he should shut journalists down. I think the embarrassing comment should have been nipped in the bud. I don't think he should explain what Anthony's done. I think he should say, I'm not bothered about it, next. Because I think he gets himself into conversations he doesn't need to be involved in. But getting to an FA Cup final for Man United overperforming, okay. Well,
if they win it.
Well, you know, beating Liverpool and beating Manchester City will be based upon Man United's performance overperforming because he's produced a team that underperforms.
You need a bit of luck to win any cup competition. It would have been easier. I mean, look, I agree with Sam to a degree. He does go sometimes where he goes with conversations. But he's... I forgot my train of thought there.
I think he's quite right to stake his claim, push his own point.
He's got to
say, well, hang on a second, if we win this,
with all
the problems we've had, I'm not sure what the problem with that is. If we win it, then it's achievement. It should be recognised.
And so he would. But that's not what we're asking to comment on. We're asking to comment on him and his performances in the team. And I don't feel that, and I have never felt, from the first press conference that we heard him speak, to the manner in which he got smashed by Brentford in one of his early games, to the challenges that he's had during the period of time, to the outcomes that they've got over the 20 months that he's been there, that he has the capability to lead Manchester United out of the
we haven't
which is
got
where they
a
are.
bit of luck today. Coventry was great. We'll take it. You've got to need a bit of luck sometimes to win things. You all know that. Looking forward to the final.
But it inspired, when you listen to it, me and him, I think we both said the same thing. When we listened to him do his press conference, nothing about you inspires me.
No.
And when I listen to him mumbling on in some monotone drone, which I have to accept primarily because of his mother language, I don't find myself taking anything away that makes me think, oh, I think you've got a lot about you. I listen to Philip. So I listen to Philip.
We don't know what he's like in the dressing room.
Well, you can see what it's like in the dressing room where his players play. Rashford does what he feels like. Donacic does what he feels like. There's no work ethic in the team. They turn up
finals in 2 years. We constantly go on about Mourinho. Won a European trophy at Manchester United in his time there.
Yep.
Yep. If this fella finds a way of winning the FA Cup, it would have to be recognised, wouldn't it?
Of course it would, because they beat Manchester City in a Manchester derby in the FA Cup final. Then of course it has to be recognised for what it is. But that does not remove him from. I very much doubt that they will. Man City are going to have a really off day. Well, we'll see.
Man City might be sending off after 10 minutes. Things can happen.
Oh yes.
What it shows to me is, and why there's a narrative around the embarrassment of it, United feeling relevant of whether they win the final or not, and he should go and all that. It's I've said this. Consistent performances and progression of a football club and a team is what the manager should be judged on. So you can see a progression, you can see players getting better. That's not always indicated by trophies. So you could look at Man United's lead up to the League Cup final when they beat Newcastle, the draw they had, and everyone was at home game, and mostly lower league up, etc.
Yeah.
You can fight, you can do what you want. Trophies are
a benchmark.
A good benchmark, but not the only one, and I've said this for a long time. For example, when Bayer Leverkusen lost the Champions League final, lost the league on the last day, and lost the FA Cup final, the German Cup final, they won nothing. But they still had an incredible season where, for a consistent period of season, they won a load of games against top opposition, and a load of their players went on to great things.
Yeah.
And their manager was part of that. But just because they didn't win it doesn't mean he didn't do a good job. He did. United are not progressing; they've gone backwards. A lot of their players have gone backwards. The expectation of Manchester United's fans has gone backwards, all under his reign. Now, if he wins the FA Cup, it doesn't change the momentum of all those things. I think Ten Hag's done. I do not see any scenario, even if they went out and beat Man City 2 or 3-0 in the final, where he stays.
Yeah, I agree.
Because if he does, they're going to be in the same position next season because of all the other clubs progressing ahead of them. There's no way he's there.
And I do make it, and we throw around terminology like embarrassing, right? And hyperbole is a staple diet of everything. Chelsea's performance wasn't disgusting; it was poor. But people throw these expressions around because it creates attention.
I think the way he communicates, do you know something? He reminds me of another Dutchman, Dick Advocaat, who kind of barks English at you in fits and bursts. As opposed to a kind of smooth English speaker.
I accept that, but there's no substance behind what he says. You know, it's evident. We look, you know, games that we're watching in front of us, we may not have the insight that he has on a daily basis, because neither would we, because that's his job. But the evidence is in front of your eyes. I mean, Danny talks repeatedly about the choices that players make and the fact they've got choices. Rashford's got a choice. Fields has got a choice. Doesn't have to track back. So does Garnacho. Listen, where does that come from then? That's got nothing to do with the challenges of adversity. It's got everything to do with the...
Sammy, just push back. I mean, we had Ten Hag yesterday say the journalist, embarrassing. I think you're embarrassing asking that question.
Well, great, fantastic, because
pushes back in it.
And so he's
in the corner. He's in the corner.
So
of people do when they're
he's got some substance.
And well, at the end of the day, he wouldn't be the Manchester United manager if he's got some substance. I don't want him to have some substance. I want him to have substance. Full stop. Not some. We can all turn on a little bit of substance every now and again.
I feel for him. I do, because he's walked into one of the biggest clubs, if not the biggest club in the world, for my eyes, which is still a big club, but not the same level. And he's dealing with lots of situations he probably didn't do. He's learning. Unfortunately, it's been too much. And the biggest reflection of that is not how he does a press conference, it's how his team does it. And the players, for a long period now, when you're watching United play, don't play for him.
So you think no matter what, he goes at the end of the season?
He's got to, if United want to be competitive again, because he's not up to the job.
Okay.
He's a good guy, good football man, he's done okay, he's not up to the job to manage a club like this.
Sheffield United tonight, and of course you can hear that across the talkSPORT network. Let's hope there's no cupping of the ears in that one.
White and Jordan on talkSPORT with Selco. Register for your trade card online at selcobw.com or in one of our branches. White and Jordan on talkSPORT with Selco Builders Warehouse. With the Selco app, it's now even easier to buy from Selco. Download it for free from the App Store today.
talkSPORT Bet. If you want to flutter, punters know it's the only place to go. Football, GG, cricket, golf and Grand Prix, live online casino. Just tap to find it on the app. talkSPORT Bet, the broadcast bonus bookie, keeping you on track with all the sporting stats. Steeple chases, even title races, looking after sports fans. You know, cause talkSPORT Bet is the app that does all that. It's the only place to go.
18 plus begambleaware.org.
The McDonald's Chicken Big Mac is back, but not for long. So don't miss out on the 3 layers of soft bun. Don't miss out on the delicious Big Mac sauce, the chicken patties, that fresh shredded lettuce, that melty cheese, and don't miss those delicious gherkins. Unless you want to take them out. Don't miss until the 28th of May. Subject to availability, but restaurants only.
In People's Postcode Lottery's May draws, your ordinary postcode could deliver some rather extraordinary news. Because a share of £17.3 million must be won. And there are prizes every day. So join the 70% of postcodes across Great Britain that are already playing. And sign up your postcode before midnight on the 30th of April. Good things come knocking with People's Postcode Lottery. PPL managed lotteries on behalf of good causes. 18 plus conditions apply. Play responsibly, not available in Northern Ireland.
Lidl, we're always big on quality and little on price. With super-powered savings on all your weekly staples, fresh deals on your 5-a-day and big brands that don't break the bank. You could save over £35 by switching from Sainsbury's to Lidl with this week's big shop at lidl.co.uk/save. Prices check 15th of April 24. Sainsbury's offer.
Here at the Virgin Games Development Hub, we run all sorts of tests to make sure our players get the most thrilling experiences, wherever they are. Like testing our game recommendations feature for people playing in the bar, or our daily free games for people playing on the train, or the perfect amount of free spins you get when you play £10. Let me see. Oh, it's 30.
Get 30 free spins when you play £10. Virgin Games. Serious about playing. Visit virgingames.com. 18 plus UK only. That's not it. Free spins on double bubble, 1 week on size, max size, 30 day expiry, full rules at virgingames.com. Play responsibly. Begambleaware.org. When it comes to outdoor jobs, Toolstation knows the grind never stops. You're out there, moving mountains, the keeper of gardens, the setter of standards. There's no garden too great, no field too fierce. When others fall flat, you keep digging deep. And with thousands of weekly price checks on trade quality products, you can keep nailing the job at hand. Toolstation, for a job done right.
Let's get the business.
talkSPORT Traffic and Travel with My Dear Cooling and Heating. Find an easier route to an air source heat pump project with My Dear.
Win more, earn faster. That's the My Dear idea.
A1M in North Yorkshire's closed southbound from junction 48 at Borough Bridge to 47 at Allerton Park after an accident. Queues from Bishop and long delays as you divert. In Northamptonshire, the A14 is partly blocked westbound by an accident between junction 1 at Welford and the M1M6 Catford interchange causing delays. And the M25 in Hertfordshire, the anti-clockwise exit at junction 20 at Kings Langley is closed because of an accident. And in London, the South Circular is closed each way from Richmond Road leads to Sheen after accident with long delays on approaches there. Russell Holding.
Maltesers? Just please. I'm visiting Dad on Friday. I'm bracing myself for the interrogation. When are you buying a house and why aren't you saving?
Oh, so annoying. Has he seen the state of the economy?
Exactly. It's like he thinks if I stop brunching for a few weekends, then someone's going to hand me a mortgage. The only way we'll afford a house is by selling our dirty stats on the internet.
That's genius. How much can we charge?
Well, mine will be more expensive than yours.
Oi! Look on the light side.
Wednesday. Live on the talkSPORT app.
Oh, it's in!
Get stuck in.
Crystal Palace versus Newcastle.
It's not on the telly, Eddie.
Kick-off 8 p.m.
Wednesday night on the talkSPORT app.
We're a constant work in progress. We're fighting lots of different battles. We're fighting lots of different problems.
And got up there to take the ball into the net and get Everton back on level terms.
24 points fighting with two of the best football teams in the world. For the crown of the Premier League, it's absolutely crazy.
And the law tells you that it is an all-Manchester FA Cup final.
You have to win every game, you know it. That's what United stands for.
Harmer checks onto his right and scores a brilliant goal back for Sheffield United. And once again, the goal scorer for Crystal Palace is Jean-Philippe Mateta. Alexander Isak lights up St James's Park. 15th Premier League goal of the season. Matthias Cunha away. That's brilliant and scores for Wolves. Solanke steps up right-footed, makes absolutely no mistake, and Bournemouth's remarkable run continues. Live on talkSPORT, your home of live football.
It is indeed, this proves it. Bournemouth, can they continue that decent run? They're at Wolves tonight. That's live in the talkSPORT app. That's an exclusive. So too, Crystal Palace, Newcastle. That kicks off at 8 o'clock. Everton, Liverpool. A talkSPORT exclusive. 8 o'clock kickoff for that. We heard from Ten Hag in there. Manchester United up against Sheffield United. Surely only a big Manchester United win will do Ten Hag. That is a talkSPORT 2 exclusive. You will not miss a trick. I wonder, talking about missing things, I wonder if Jurgen Klopp is going to miss his Merseyside derby experience. Of course, something he's got used to over recent years, but this is his final one because he leaves at the end of the season. He's been talking about that going into this one at Goodison.
I don't know exactly when my first derby was, like was it 15 still or 2016, so I was around for a while, but it's when you are you could have said immediately that's my game of the year and stuff like this. You know, it wasn't. I knew how important it is to all the people, and as I had it here, but didn't feel it then. That's not a problem for coaching a team, but meanwhile I know it and I feel it and everything. So it's absolutely clear. So that my feeling and my understanding developed obviously over the years, rightly so, and yeah, always difficult games, especially there. Whatever did in the past is not so important for this game. We trust that we will both right in.
Well, they might be difficult games, but Klopp never loses them. He's only lost one of 18 matches against Everton, and he has never tasted defeat at Goodison. Danny, you're going to be working tonight. We'll see you later on. But if you're an Everton player under Dyche, is Dyche not saying to their boys tonight, right, let's give Jurgen our own kind of sense?
Unfortunately, yes, that will be the message. And all the Evertonians will be thinking, let's put their title hopes to bed. Let us have something this season. Let us have a moment, because they haven't had many.
Are they capable of it?
Oh, I mean, in a Merseyside derby, with Everton fans behind you, they're capable, but 8 out of 10 with what Liverpool are playing for and the players they've got should be going there against the trouble, because Everton's confidence is low. They've been struggling. I mean, we struggled over the line against Forest the other day. Didn't play particularly well. Understandably a nervy performance. Saw them at Chelsea, they got battered. I know that was a one-off. We don't normally take guidance like that on the Dyche to be fair. They're well organised. But Liverpool flying after the weekend, good options, should be able to go. I mean, you find things like that.
Yeah.
Got to.
I think one of two things happen, Simon. Everton somehow find a way to do it, or Liverpool win this comfortably to send off Klopp in the style they would want to.
Or maybe they get a draw. There's all three permutations.
You know it's gone.
I do not see that.
No, I think Liverpool win this game. I don't think Everton, because it's a Merseyside derby, will put a shift in, I'm sure. I would expect the quality of Liverpool that's invaded them a couple of times, more to do with profligacy in recent games, will return, and I think normal service will be resumed. I think they'll win this game and move on. And Everton have got fish to fry at Luton and other places like that keeps them in the Premier League.
Did you love playing in this game, Dan?
It was a good fixture. I loved it, yeah, for what it was in terms of atmosphere. Great place to play. The atmosphere is incredible there in Derby. We had a good record there, didn't lose there. Lost there once on the bench in the early years when I played there. No matter good as someone as well, which I've never talked about before.
Oh, did you? Oh, yeah. I don't think you've mentioned that.
You know what? Great.
Yeah.
And it's the one I remember most as a kid, funny enough. I know the rivalry against United is bigger than as when you played now, but as a kid in the middle 80s, you remember that Everton side.
Yeah,
that was
yeah. Can I ask you a question? Would Liverpool be happy to see Everton relegated? Because as soon as this flying this kite, no one in Liverpool would want to see Everton relegated. Do you think that's true? I think Liverpool fans would be delighted if Everton got relegated.
Some.
Right.
Yeah, no. I know where Graham's coming from.
Okay.
Graham there's a lot of Liverpool fans and Everton fans who are still close as friends and families who like the Derby day. I wouldn't want to see Everton go, but
well, it's a talkSPORT exclusive. It's Everton against Liverpool tonight, 8 o'clock kickoff. Dan, you're in for a long day. Thank you so much for the last 3 hours, my friend. Simon, I shall see you tomorrow. And just to recap on that developing story, Liverpool in talks with Feyenoord to get their man out of Holland and take him to Anfield to succeed Klopp. And the man is Arne Slot. Look him up to 1.
White and Jordan on talkSPORT with Selco Builders Warehouse. Order online for free delivery at selcobw.com. White and Jordan on talkSPORT with Selco. Register for your trade card online at selcobw.com or in one of our branches.
And join us here for the call all kinds of fans chase. And they're off. And it's top to turn Tweed leading in the first, closely followed by the man who always has a flutter on the Grand National. But here comes the stag do lads, all dressed up as traffic cones, making a move from the back. And as they cross the line, it's a shock win for the man who got on the horse with the same name as his dog. Who takes it? Unbelievable.
Whatever kind of racing fan you are, don't miss the Coral Daily Download every morning from 6 on the Superstar Breakfast on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for it. 18 plus with Campbell and Weather.
All cleared for lunch. The new cheeky little pizzas from Domino's. For hot and cheesy wraps. For you. For filling finance. To sit on security. For lunching at the laptop. Lunch for just £4 at Domino's. High fours all round. Order ahead on our app.
Domino!
£4 per item. Collection and delivery. Minimum delivery spend. Charges and areas may apply.
In People's Postcode Lottery's May draws, your ordinary postcode could deliver some rather extraordinary news. Because a share of £17.3 million must be won. And there are prizes every day. So join the 70% of postcodes across Great Britain that are already playing. And sign up your postcode before midnight on the 30th of April. Good things come knocking with People's Postcode Lottery. PPL manage lotteries on behalf of good causes. 18 plus conditions apply. Play responsibly, not available in Northern Ireland.
Let me just throw this idea. You may have paid too much tax. If you've spent money on tools, travel or food for work, Rift can help work out what you're owed and get a refund bouncing back to you. In fact, on average, Rift get their customers £3 grand back. Not bad, eh? Let's get the ball rolling. Search Rift Tax Refunds. Come on, search Rift Tax Refunds today.
Not everything in golf makes sense, but buying pre-owned clubs does. We're GolfBit, official partner of the PGA, that helped millions of golfers over the last 25 years find quality and affordable clubs to improve their game. So while you may not always trust your swing, you can trust our clubs. Golf is difficult. Buying great value pre-owned clubs isn't. Browse thousands of premium clubs and use code talkSPORT5 for 5% off at golfbidder.co.uk.
make sure you're all set for kick-off on talkSPORT with Ladbrokes. It's talkSPORT's premier weeknight fan forum featuring your views and the opinions of talkSPORT's top team of passionate pundits.
That's a right-footed and scores!
Plus, get the latest form and odds before the whistle blows direct from Ladbrokes. And hear live commentaries of selected matches throughout the season. Kick-off weeknights from 7 on talkSPORT with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
On 10:59 and 10:53 medium wave. Online, on your mobile, on the app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT. Talk Sport.
Lookers Vans. New or used, Lookers Vans will keep your business moving. Lookers, how good to you? Better.
Thanks to Jim Simon and Danny for the last 3 hours. Coming up next, me, Paul Hawksby, Andy Jacobs. Not in the best of spirits, understandably, today. We'll be looking back on the game. There was no good way for a Chelsea fan to watch last night, but probably the worst way was in the stadium among the Arsenal fans. That's what Omid Jalili, friend of the show, comedian and Chelsea fan, put us through last night. He'll be joining us to relive the nightmare. We'll also look ahead to tonight in the Champions League. We'll be chatting about a fantastic new book on the everything around the knockout in the world of boxing from Sky commentator Andy Clark, and lots more besides, all to come between now and 4. But first, Tom Clayton has the sports headlines.
Well, thank you. Good afternoon. A deal to bring it on a slot to Liverpool could be done by the weekend. That's according to Dutch football expert Marcel van der Kraan. talkSPORT understands the final manager's made it clear he wants to join Liverpool, but van der Kraan has his reservations.
You have to know the culture and the atmosphere of English football, and every Dutch manager has struggled so far.
We'll keep our eyes out in case he's at the Merseyside derby tonight. You can hear it exclusively live on talkSPORT. We also understand both Erik ten Hag and the Manchester United players could be facing a significant pay cut for missing out on the Champions League. Ten Hag's contract apparently says not qualifying for the competition brings a 25% drop in wages. It also means you get less compensation if you were due to face the sack this summer. Their match v Sheffield United tonight isn't on UK TV, but it is live on talkSPORT 2. Now, talkSPORT's been told we should still expect inconsistency from Chelsea due to the squad's age. Former Premier League midfielder Danny Murphy reckons the club's outlook might not be as bleak as it's being painted.
If you watch Chelsea play against Manchester City at the weekend, that was a good performance from a good side, full of potential, and it's got a chance of progressing nicely.
And there'll be no Erling Haaland for Manchester City tomorrow night. Pep Guardiola says he's still not ready for the trip to Brighton. Good news for them though, both Phil Foden and John Stones will be available. Hear the match live on talkSPORT.
talkSPORT News.
The UK and Germany says they'll support Ukraine for as long as it takes, and the runaway horses in central London who've hospitalised 4 people have now been caught. More from Will at 5:30.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. We're here for every journey in the future with over 300 EV trained centres. Find your nearest at quickfit.com and drive away happy every time.
Relatively dry for much of the country, just a few patchy showers in the east and southwest.
Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Conquer the entire job faster and easier with click and collect to over 550 stores nationwide for a job done right. And 10:53 medium wave on DAB, online and on your smart speaker. Paul Hawksby and Andy Jacobs on talkSPORT.
This is Paul Hawksby and Andy Jacobs with you through until 4 here on talkSPORT. Where this afternoon, Andy? What's coming up?
Well, coming up over the next 3 hours, Chelsea supporting comedian Omid Jalili tells us whether he regrets sitting among the Arsenal fans at the Emirates last night. Evertonian Sam Avery previews as crucial a Merseyside derbies we've had in years. And we wonder if Palace can replicate that West Ham performance against Newcastle this evening.
We're also after your sporting bombshells and how they were dropped, and Sky boxing commentator Andy Clark pops in to chat about his new book on sport's most decisive moment, the knockout.
As all this plus Tim Vickery brings us the latest from South America, and we'll chat to the man who coaxed the lighter side out of Erik ten Hag.
Yeah. had a jaunty exchange with Eric Ten Hag. Not all the exchanges with the press yesterday were prickly.
Never mind 20%, Ten Hag will be getting 100% wedge cut.
Yeah, quite possibly.
But
Payoff, I would imagine. Anyway, approaching 5 minutes past 1. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon. And I'm not going to, people think, oh, you're going to go mad in this. I'm not going to overreact. I mean, this is just what this team is. So last week they won 6-0 and ran, you know, the best team in the country. Well, I think Arsenal are the best team in the country, but they, you know, you could make a case for City. Ran them really close, should have won the game. Last night, as soon as I saw the team he picked, I just went, I said to Jason, that's 0-3 minimum. And
what did he get wrong then?
After the first goal, I put a bet on 5-0.
I mean, did you? You got 5-0 bet.
Well, I just knew.
What did he do wrong with the team? Could he have picked anybody else?
Well, he should have played Chalobah for a start. I mean, honestly, the recruitment at Chelsea is so poor. You know, just look at Badashir and Disaster. I mean, they really are a right pair. I mean, they had Chalobah and Colwell. What on earth did they buy those two for? You know, Badashir, he's as worst of players I've ever seen. He really is right up there. I don't even think he's good enough for the, you know, Rymans, whatever it is.
Don't think it is the Rymans.
No, I think it is. National League South.
Blue Square, I think it is these days.
I ought to say that, you know, Arsenal, I thought for a long time Arsenal were going to win the title. I thought they were excellent last night. They got that early goal which they needed. You know,
and then you had that when they didn't get the second. I think they're getting a little bit.
Chelsea all over. If you don't score when you
scored,
at that point scored.
I mean, I'm not saying you would have won it, but I don't think it would have been 5.
No, it wouldn't. And you know, they 1-1. The crowd would have got a bit edgy.
Yeah.
You know, Disaster had a chance to score. You know, Jackson, as usual, had chances to score. Fernandes can't hit the target. Whatever happens, he had a chance. He's a real problem, I think. But you know, it's so much to do. Anyone that thinks it's Poch, all these fans on the website, Poch, yeah, Poch got to go. Honestly, find yourself a new sport. If you think he's the problem at Chelsea, find yourself a new sport to follow, because
he is further upstairs. You think?
Oh, I think a lot further upstairs. You know, it's the recruitment. It's there's a couple of things. And the other thing to say.
So you're saying they've given him a completely unbalanced squad that's no one can work with.
It is slightly basically. I mean, no one was thinking excuses, but 10 players out every single week. Other teams have injuries, but not so consistent and so long.
They have still got quite a deep, expensive squad. Part of the recruitment is you bought lots of players.
They bought wrong.
You can't say that. But you do have bodies.
But they're not the right bodies. They're not the bodies. You know, if Arsenal, like last night, if Ødegaard and Rice and 3 of their back 4 weren't playing, which was the equivalent of what Chelsea had this week, do you think that game would have been 5-0? I don't think it would. You know, I mean, Arsenal were excellent. Ødegaard was wonderful. But, you know, he's their best player. You know, you take him out of the team, it's like you take Palmer out of the team. It's going to affect you. You know, it was a difficult one to take Havertz scoring twice because of rubbing it in. That's difficult. You know, but as I say, no one wants to hear the excuses, but there are excuses, there are reasons.
So you heard what Danny just said with Jim and
He's right, of course. If you can't see, honestly, I remember Arsene Wenger's 1000th game.
Yeah.
Chelsea won 6-0. You know, and Chelsea were in the ascendant, Arsenal were on their way down. And now it's gone the other way. It will switch back. It is cyclical. And I do believe that there are enough decent players in this team if they can keep them fit. You know, I think Cole is a great prospect. I think he's tremendous. I think even Fofana, before he got injured, looked great for Leicester. You know, these two are much better than these two. I do think, for me, they're the problem. I mean, some of them, you know, Cucurella, you know, they bought too many poor players. There's no question about that. And yeah, they bought some good ones too, because it's very scattergun.
And so enough good ones in there if they then buy the right players.
Oh yeah, there's enough good ones in there. Well, they don't need to buy a lot of players. They need to sell a few. They need to sell a few that they bought, not just the youth products that are actually good. Like Chalobah is a lot better than those two. They talked about selling him. He's miles better than Badashir or Disaster. And when he came on, it looked a bit more solid. But as I say, you know, all credit to Arsenal, because I thought they played really well. You know. They could smell blood, and once they were really on it, and you know, what can you do? At half time, I would have taken 1-0 at half time. You know,
well, at least you were able to watch it from the comfort of your own armchair. Unlike Omid Jalili, who's going to join us shortly, who took a ticket to the game sat among the Arsenal fans.
Yeah, it was a massive error.
Right in the belly of the beast.
If I'd have done that, as soon as I saw the team sheet, I'd have gone home. Honestly, you know, you can't go to Arsenal. And the other thing where Poch is to blame, I think, and you saw what Unai Emery did.
Yeah.
You know, he changed his tactics. He sat back and he absorbed a lot of pressure, got a bit of luck, and then he took his chances. Whereas, you know, he's a bit like Postecoglou. You know, and he's like Bielsa. Pochettino, they've got this way of playing. They're only going to play that way. They're not going to do it differently.
No.
And if you try and go toe-to-toe with Arsenal without your best team, without your best players, you're going to get smacked, and that's what happened.
Yeah, I can't deny that. It's kind of slightly crossed my mind after last night, ahead of the game on Sunday, but because we'll go out windmilling like we always do.
Yeah, you'll get beaten.
Well, there is a danger of that.
Yeah, but they will. I don't think they'll go so gung ho. They will sit back like they do often away from home. They sit back a bit. Arsenal hit on the counter. They've got they've got a lot of weapons. They've got a lot of confidence.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see.
The other thing, not one goalkeeper between them. These people bought, you know, the two keepers they bought, and they don't make a keeper between them. They don't, you know.
Really, I thought that he made a couple of good saves last night. He had two, didn't he?
The first goal should never be beaten there like that. Never. That's poor goalkeeping. It was a good shot by Trossard. He took it quickly, but he hit it hard. But you know, he should have been more of a barrier.
We want to get you involved in something today, and it comes from my old writing colleagues on TV, but David Quantick, screenwriter and indeed music journalist from back in the day, and he started a bit of a thread on social media today. And it's these kind of bombshell things, often that your parents would hit you with over the years. You've been chatting about stuff. And Dave says, my dad once flew on Concorde. The flight was delayed that some fellow you like played some songs on his guitar. Paul someone, it was awful. Yes, my dad attended an impromptu live acoustic session by Paul McCartney in an airport lounge, and he hated it.
I don't believe that story. Who looks at Paul McCartney and goes, that's Paul somebody? That's ridiculous.
He didn't say Paul someone. That was his dad. His dad was not at all into the Beatles, and this would have been very early on, I would imagine. Okay, blimey, everybody's getting it today.
Sounds unlikely.
Yes, and so a whole thread is built along those lines, from people coming up with stories that their mums and dads just sort of suddenly slung. Oh yeah, I remember that. I managed to do that. I saw them. So are there sporting equivalents? One has just popped up from Robin Asquith, the star of the Confessions film many years ago.
Oh yeah.
So he once sat on a plane in the centre seat between Tommy Doherty and Stevie Wonder.
Wow.
It sounds like a Tommy Cockle story, doesn't it? Fantastic. So we were interested in those. Somebody just hit you with a little bombshell story along those lines. We'd love to hear whether it was the folks or otherwise. talkSPORT.com/H&J, text to 81089 or tweet to TSH&J. We're going to be talking about all the games this evening. Big Merseyside derby, looking at it from an Evertonian point of view, but it's crucial, of course, for both sides, top and bottom. Palace had a great performance at the weekend. We'll be chatting to one of their fans, talking about whether they can hold on to their key players next season, and can they turn it on against Newcastle. This evening we're going to talk boxing, we'll talk a bit of rugby. We will be chatting to the man who had a glass of wine for every mile on the marathon. He is a wine connoisseur and dealer, I believe, but and part of it was to say what the wine was.
Yeah, he had to guess the wine.
He had to guess the wine, yeah. You know, 15, 20 miles into a marathon, that's pretty good. Tom Gilby joins us, Tim Vickery is the man who had a light-hearted chat with Eric Ten Hag. We'll be chatting to him as well. So lots to come between now and 4. We'll kick off chatting to Omid Jalili, reliving the nightmare sitting around the Arsenal fans. As a Chelsea fan and Arsenal, you are listening to Hawksby and James on talkSPORT in partnership with Toolstation, celebrating over 100 years of the war with great deals across the range.
Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Join the Toolstation Club today and get 5% off everything. Toolstation, for a job done right.
TK Maxx are here to shake up your summer plans with headline making, crowd-pleasing festival tickets exclusive to treasure customers. You and 3 friends could be on your way to TK Maxx presents Scarborough Open Air Theatre. Join our Treasure Rewards programme. Shop with your treasure card at TK Maxx,
HomeSense or tkmaxx.com and you could be a winner. There's no summer like a TK Maxx summer. T's and C's at tkmaxx.com/festival terms.
You'll have to go a long way to match a Volkswagen in match trim. They have all the bells and all the whistles. So whether it's a reliable hatchback, a super versatile SUV, or one of our exceptional all-electric ID models, you get extra spec as standard with every one of our 10 match trims. More Volkswagen for your money. Visit your Volkswagen retailer for our latest offers and more. Extra spec versus nearest equivalent VW trim. Visit volkswagen.co.uk for full details.
Play Set for Life, and you could. £10,000 every month for 30 years. Set for Life. Play now on the National Lottery app. Terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
Hey, you looking for car parts at unbelievable prices? Here at You Pull It, the region's pull your own parts breakers yard, we've got them in the thousands. Headlamps at 28 quid, alloys 30 and batteries 15. A whole engine for just £154. With over 3,000 cars on the ground and new in every day, we've got the parts you need at prices you won't believe. Plus, we also buy scrap cars. You pull, you save. YouPullIt.co.uk. Prices may vary, certain conditions apply.
My Vanguard ISA gives me all the investment choice I need and nothing I don't. Love that.
Vanguard ISA gives me peace of mind because my investments are all managed for me. What's not to love?
And you know it's low cost.
And straightforward, which is just what I need.
Join more than 50 million investors around the world who love Vanguard Value. Vanguard. Value to investors. Capital at risk. Tax rules may change. Eligibility rules apply.
Oh, with My Dear Cooling and Heating. Find an easier route to win heat pump chiller projects with My Dear. Win more, earn faster. That's the My Dear idea.
In North Yorkshire, the A1M remains closed southbound. It's been shut after a collision between junction 48 at Borough Bridge and junction 47 for the A59. In Lancashire, the M65 eastbound is partly blocked by a broken down lorry between junction 2 for Clayton Brook and junction 3 at Blackburn West. And in Hertfordshire, delays on the M25 anti-clockwise. That's partly blocked after a collision just by junction 20 for Kings Langley. I'm Adam Moore.
First times. Remember those? Like the thrill of being chased by waves for the first time. Now imagine the thrill of skiing through the fjords on a high-speed rib on a Saga ocean cruise. Or even the joy you'll feel with our Love It First Time guarantee. If you don't love all the incredible first times on your first Saga ocean cruise, we'll give you your money back. 2025 season now on sale. Search Saga Cruises. Experience is everything. Port must be made in first 72 hours or 48 hours if cruise is 7 nights or less. Full terms apply. Over 50s only.
Premier League live on talkSPORT.
Everton versus Liverpool.
In the Merseyside derby.
Coverage from 7, kick-off 8 p.m.
What a turn! What a goal!
Wednesday night on talkSPORT. Give us a call.
Damage into the player, damage into the club, damage into the coaching staff, damage in everyone is damaging about after this result. But the problem is to realize before when you prepare the game, when you go to compete, you need to realize that it's a London derby and you need to show different, capacity to be competing on the game. What I'm going to say, I can say apologize to the fans, apologize to the people because I think. The first 15 minutes and the second 15 minutes, 30 minutes on the game today, we didn't compete and we were so soft side that it's so painful, so painful.
Yeah, we are not at the races, I think is the expression.
Yeah, I don't know what that is in Spanish. Maybe tell me. But yeah, not easy for any Chelsea fan to watch last night as they were humbled by Arsenal. Wasn't easy to watch at home. Wouldn't have been easy to watch from the away end for the Chelsea fans that went there. Certainly wouldn't have been easy if you were sitting among the Arsenal fans. And when I was kind of thinking of how you be today, I saw Omi Jalili, comedian, friend of the show, post out, and Chelsea fan, post out a little video of himself in Arsenal. Great look to camera. Lauren Hardy-esque with the scoreboard at 5-0. And delighted to say Omid is prepared to put himself through it again. He joins us now. Hi, Omid.
Hey guys, thank you. That was just to try and give a bit of humour to the proceedings, because it was an Arsenal fan sat next to me just said, "Your face is just." He'd already taken the video. Then he just said to me, "Sorry, I've got to post that because that's just hysterical." Because it was just the most abject performance I've ever seen in the history of supporting Chelsea. So you had to laugh about it.
How did it come about? How did that ticket come about? Was it sort of offered from someone you know? And what made you say yes? Did you think you could go toe to toe with them last night?
I have a bunch of comedian friends who go, and they never want me to go with them. There's people like Ian Stone, Alan Davis, they all sit together, and there's one friend of mine who's not far from them, said, "Look, why don't you come with me? We reserved the Arsenal-Chelsea game for about, I think, 6 months. And we went there. It's a lovely area. You can have food, had a nice burger before, and there's lots of banter. In general, the Emirates is a great atmosphere, and the fans are... The North London boys all fine. They all recognise me. They're like saying, you know, aren't you a Chelsea fan? What are you doing here? And then afterwards, there was all this kind of mock concern about Chelsea. What's going on there? And people trying to give ideas of how they can help. I mean, it's ridiculous. So I started tweeting. It made it even worse.
It's
But they all laugh.
reaction, really.
It isn't, but is it though, Andy? Because look, you and I remember. I don't know if you were at the game back in March 1986 when the last London derby we got dropped by QPR 6-0, and that was a surprise. Although we'd lost 4-0 to West Ham a few days earlier, it was the Ides of March. Do you remember we lost 4-0 to West Ham, then we lost 6-0 to QPR? And I like to tell Chelsea fans, don't worry, it's a blip. But Chelsea were relegated two years later, so that was a real problem. But last night it didn't surprise me, and that's where 38 years ago it surprised me. It didn't surprise me. In fact, I even told they go, "What's your predictions?" I said 5-2, and they said, "Do you really think you get 2 goals?" I said, "No, but I know Arsenal are going to get 5," and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, they should have had 2 goals. But you know, when I say overreaction, you know, I'm talking about that they won 6-0 last week against Everton. They ran City really close. They should have won the game. You know, there were reasons why they lost like that last night, and Arsenal are a really terrific side, going for the title. They were right up for it. The worst thing that could have happened, an early goal. You know, the keeper should have done better. And once that had gone in, with the side he picked, it was fairly inevitable it was going to happen. Like, there's a danger in overreacting, I think.
It is, but when you're at the game, that's why I love going to games, because first of all, I really got a true appreciation of Odegaard and Rice, and when you see them up front, they really are Rolls Royces. They're wonderful footballers, and if anything, I hope Arsenal win just for those 2 blokes. And also, Leandro Trossard, as I tweeted, is a very underrated player. We'd talk about him more if he didn't look like a medical student who's done too many kind of night shifts at Middlesex Hospital. He just always looks like he's knackered.
He's a bit dark around the eyes, it's true. It's like he's like a junior doctor. He's had an hour's kit. It's true, isn't it, really?
Yeah, no, we talk about it more. But having said that, when I say that was the most abject performance I've ever seen, it's because you can see there's no movement. Every time Enzo had the ball, we saw that front line. Madueke didn't look like... Arsenal fans were impressed by him. I said, he's not doing much. And then Mudryk, who I even, as a joke, I tweeted that the more he's around, the more I realised it was the fact that Chelsea bought a Ukrainian just to wind up the ex-Russian owner. But actually, when I see him, when you see these players up close, I think, are they that bad? There was no movement. It looked like they didn't want to be there. And the most disturbing thing was, we're just literally behind Pochettino. And I like him. I want him to stay. I think he should stay for the rest of the season. But he genuinely didn't look like he had any ideas. It didn't look like he didn't care, but he just didn't know. He was like putting his arms up. Even he seemed baffled, but didn't seem to have any power to change it. And that is the thing that really upset me.
Well, he hasn't got anywhere to... You know, Jackson, I think, did all right, but he did that typical Jackson performance. He played well, but he didn't score. He had 3 chances, he didn't take them. You know, it's difficult. Who's he supposed to bring on instead? You know, the recruitment's been so poor. Sterling drives me mad.
Oh my God.
300 grand a week for that. I mean, really. And they're stuck with it. There's no way they'll be able to get rid of him. Who's going to want him? He's the shadow of the player he was. So Mudryk drives me mad as well.
Mudryk.
He's just so annoying. He's just got no football brain whatsoever. Yeah, he's quick and he's got skills in his feet, but actual positional play, ideas, all that completely missing. You know.
something needs to change there. I mean, for a big game, I know Arsenal had the big, they'd lost to Villa, that they had something to prove, and
but Owen, if Ødegaard and Rice and 3 of Arsenal's back 4 weren't playing, would that game have been 5-0 last night? I think Arsenal may still have won, but I don't think it would have been that. It wouldn't have been that sort of thrashing. If Palmer and Gusto had played, if Reece James was fit, it's a big ask for Alfie Gilchrist. He's a good young kid, but he's, that was impossible for him in that position.
He played well though. Gilchrist played well.
Yeah, he did all right. But
but it did seem like a suicide. That back 4, I just thought, well, is this a game they just want the one out the way, and they're going to try and win some other games to try and scrape 7th place. But in general, I really was disappointed that there was no movement, there was no ideas, and you can see we've got good. Enzo Fernandez is a good player, not in that team. Nicholas Jackson, he was always bought as a reserve, and Cuckoo's been injured. He was never meant to be the first choice, and he just, he needs time because he's only 22. But there's something seriously wrong when you show up at the Emirates with that kind of performance. It was like, I mean, I can't believe that the Arsenal fans weren't cheering. We want 6. They were doing that. They seemed to be happy with 5.
And the only nice to you, that's what it was.
I'm being nice with, but the only argument I had when Ben White scored the 5th, I went, oh, he meant that. And they all turned around and
he didn't read it.
Yeah, because no, he did. That was the only argument.
It just summed the whole evening up, that didn't it, really?
Yeah. But if it's true, we talk about Mudryk there. Imagine Mudryk in that Arsenal team. If you slot quite a few of your players, Fernandes, you slot a few of those players and dump them into a structured side that had a couple of years to build.
That's my point.
They're not bad players.
No, it's completely different. But if you put Banishil in the Arsenal team, they'd be relegated. He's absolutely the worst player I've ever seen in my life, honestly. I never want to see him in a Chelsea shirt ever again.
So you have no regrets, Omid? No regrets about going? No? You're pleased you went, or...?
Absolutely. I should never have gone in the first place. A complete waste of time. I was depressed. I kept thinking, I'm just all night texting Chelsea friends who just so upset. But having said that,
yes,
I have to say, because I'm a Londoner, and at the end of the day, these are my North London brothers, I actually enjoyed being with the Arsenal fans. There was nothing but friendly banter, and the best thing, when we noticed, we looked over the Chelsea, and there was one bloke with a Champions League trophy who was holding it, you could just about hear us strangulated. We've won it all. We've won it all. We just started laughing.
Yeah. That kid with a sign as well, honestly. These adults that give these children these signs are irresponsible.
What sign?
Well, it just said, I don't want your shirt, I just want you to play for ours. I think you were gave it, hand drew it and gave it to his, should have held it up himself.
Brat.
Should have held it. Well, it wasn't the kid's fault. Dad made it, I'm guessing. I don't think it was his words. What are you up to comedy-wise? You're touring, you got some gigs coming up. We're going
big international tour. Going to Canada in May, then I'll be in Australia in September, America end of September, then a UK tour October through to the beginning of December. Go on my website, omidjalili.net, and get tickets.
Excellent. Good to talk to you. Thanks for coming on. Good sport after last night. I could understand you hunkering down, but thanks for coming on.
Oh no, definitely. Thanks, guys.
Take care. Omid Jalili there, in amongst the Arsenal fans watching the game last night. So there we are. Yeah, a London brotherhood. Maybe I should not sit in my normal seat, go and sit in the Arsenal way on Sunday.
You'll love that.
As part of the North London brotherhood.
Yeah, it won't be. Look, it'll be a much better game than last night. It'll be, it'll be close. I think Arsenal probably will win, but they won't win like that. That's for sure.
Okay, well, I hope you're right. We're going to be talking Arne Slot, a very strong word that he's going to be the next Liverpool manager. We'll be in Holland a little bit later on to find out more about that, get the very latest. Alex Cook's going to join us. He's been keeping an eye on things, our chief football correspondent. Then we're going to talk a bit of Palace Newcastle tonight, one of 4 games you will catch either on the talkSPORT app or talkSPORT 2 or here on talkSPORT. In fact, Palace Newcastle will be on the app at 8 o'clock tonight, but we'll be looking ahead to that game very shortly.
Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Join the Toolstation Club today and get 5% off everything. Toolstation, for a job done right. Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Get everything you need to conquer the whole job with free delivery 7 days a week on orders over £25. For a job done right.
Welcome to 32 Red Online Casino!
Skoda Plus approved used car with 11.4% APR representative plus £750 deposit contribution on Solutions PCP. 2 years servicing, 2 years warranty, 2 MOTs and 2 years roadside assistance. 2 use when driving 2 places like your 2-year-old's tooting party and tooting tomorrow. Skoda approved use event available from the 15th to the 29th of April, so visit your local retailer today. Skoda. Indemnities may be required at participating retailers. Vehicles up to 8 years or 100,000 miles at activation. Skoda Finance. Toodaloo.
At Morrison's, get 1 litre spirits for just £19, like Gordon's Gin, Smirnoff Vodka and Captain Morgan's Spiced Gold. That's more. Ooh, go on. Just a small one.
Morrison's to shop at Morrison's. Majority of stores and online, subject to availability. Selected bottles, please drink responsibly.
Now you can stream all the drama of the Premier League instantly and without a contract.
Absolutely brilliant.
This Sunday, 2 of the title contenders are in action as Tottenham take on Arsenal in the North London derby before Nottingham Forest face Man City at the City Ground.
Can you believe it?
Get all Sky Sports channels for a day or a whole month with a Now Sports membership. Stream the race for the title live this Sunday from 2 p.m. Head to nowtv.com.
18 plus Sky Sports content streamed via internet. Full terms apply.
5 minutes and you're done. You can do your own simple haircut in 5 minutes or less with innovative Beast Clipper from Skull Shaver. No more driving, waiting and paying every time you cut your hair. None of that. Skull Shaver products have over 100,000 5-star reviews worldwide and 30 days money-back guarantee. 5 minutes and you're done. The Beast Clipper at skullshaver.co.uk can do it. Skull Shaver, the time saver.
I love goals galore. Both teams to score is the bet for me. It's always alive, is that bet?
At Betfred, when both teams score, it's goals galore. With our goals galore bonus coupon, pick 3 or more games from a list of fixtures where you think both teams will score. A £10 stake on 3 correct selections will return £55, and 4 correct selections will return £100. Love football? Betfred. In-store and online. 18 plus T&Cs applied and 3 selections. 90 minutes only. All returns include stay for gamblerware.org.
On 1089 and 1053 medium wave, on DAB, online, and on your smart speaker. Over 50 stunning games of live football across April on talkSPORT. talkSPORT News.
Final coach Arne Slot to Liverpool is moving at a heck of a pace. We'll get the very latest. We'll be in Holland later on as well. See where we're at. And we'll talk Palace Newcastle straight after Will Hobbs with the news headlines.
Thank you, Paul. Good afternoon. Some breaking news in the last half hour. Police say 1 person's been arrested after 3 people were injured at a school in Wales. The suspected stabbing happened at Armagh Valley School in Carmarthenshire. Rishi Sunak says the world is entering a new era of defence spending.
The old paradigm is no longer the case, and we have to adjust for the new paradigm. We will do what's necessary to keep our country safe, our continent safe, and defend our values.
The PM and his German counterpart have committed to defending Ukraine for as long as it takes. He's announced a record £500 million package of aid, but Labour says it's not properly funded. Crowds have heckled former DUP leader Sir Geoffrey Donaldson as he appeared in court charged with rape and sexual offences. His wife Eleanor appeared alongside him. She's accused of aiding him. He says he'll strenuously contest the charges. And the runaway horses in central London, who's hospitalised 4 people, have now been caught. They initially bolted due to noise from Buckingham Palace builders. 4 soldiers were riding them at the time and were thrown to the floor.
Talk Sport with Bostik. If you're looking for professional grade sealant that offers technologically advanced performance, choose Bostik Sealants.
Reckons a deal could be struck between Liverpool and Arne Slot by this weekend. And Erling Haaland's missed another game from Man City. Tom has more at 2.
I'm Jeff Stelling. It's a massive week, crammed full of live and exclusive Premier League football on talkSPORT, talkSPORT 2 and the talkSPORT app. Tonight from 7:45, Wolves take on Bournemouth live on the talkSPORT app. And he scored! From 8, 3 more live and exclusive Premier League showdowns happen all at the same time. Crystal Palace face Newcastle on the talkSPORT app. Brilliant save! Manchester United clash with Sheffield United on talkSPORT 2 with Everton versus Liverpool in the Merseyside derby live on talkSPORT. What a goal! Strap yourself in for 4 Premier League midweek matchups live and exclusive on talkSPORT, talkSPORT 2 and the talkSPORT app.
Later on, we'll be taking a closer look at the Merseyside derby with a nervous Evertonian. A lot riding on this one tonight. Of course, as we said, all 4 games this evening we will be bringing you. And that one is on talkSPORT exclusively from 8 o'clock. But let's get the very latest, talking of Liverpool, on the move for Arne Slot to take over from Jurgen Klopp as managers. We said we'll cross to Holland a little bit later on to chat with someone who watched a lot of football under Arne Slot. From the Telegraph, Stephen Quimmer's going to join us. He's at Alkmaar for many years. The club he was at before final. But let's get the latest from our own chief football correspondent, Alex Crook. Good afternoon, Alex. Hey, Alex. No Crookie. We'll be there.
Sorry, I had the mute button on there. Afternoon, Paul.
We've got you, that's right. They just had to turn the levels up.
No, he had to turn his mute off,
right. It is moving at such a pace, this, isn't it? I mean, maybe everybody's managed to keep it quiet to the last minute, certainly more quiet than they did Klopp leaving, so this one didn't leak, because it seems to be moving at a hell of a pace.
No, it's very much the Liverpool way, isn't it? Very much the Michael Edwards way as well. We know he's the power broker now, very much at Anfield, and for the Liverpool owners, they like to do their business in private. Obviously, there was a lot of talk in Portugal and, strangely, in Germany as well, that Ruben Amorim would be the preferred candidate, the Sporting Lisbon manager. I was told from quite an early stage that probably wouldn't be the case, and so it's transpired. Arne Slot, somebody you'll remember, was close, or was certainly on Tottenham's radar in the summer, rejected that job before Ange Postecoglou took over. I think I'm right in saying that he was wanted by Leeds around about this time last season as well, when they were trying to stay in the Premier League, but again he decided that wasn't the right opportunity for him. I think he is very keen to be the replacement for Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool. I think this move for a new manager has been very data-driven. Michael Edwards very into the analytics of these specific candidates, and Arne Slot scores very highly on that. I think he plays a similar brand of football to what Klopp does, with that high-pressing style, attacking tactics from his team as well. So I think the dots are starting to join up, and what we do know is that talks have started now between Liverpool and Feyenoord in terms of agreeing a compensation package. That's not straightforward, because unlike a lot of managers, Slot doesn't have a formal release clause in his contract that Liverpool could just pay a certain amount and get him out of Feyenoord. They're going to have to negotiate. The figure I've been given the Dutch club want is 10 million euros, so I think that equates to around about 8.6 million pounds. Obviously Liverpool will try and negotiate down from there, but I think there's a confidence, a certain sense that I'm getting from Liverpool that this deal can get done, and that Slot will be the chosen one in terms of following on from Jurgen Klopp, and that's quite a daunting task.
Yeah, how much is this job a poison chalice? Like, Salah looks like he's going to be off. Van Dijk's coming to the end of his sort of, cycle. And
is it Moyes?
They've got a lot of good young players, of course.
There are echoes of Moyes at Manchester United. Maybe not as extreme as that, but you want to be the man after the man.
I'd say so.
So it's quite bold to go into this job, to say yes to this job.
Yeah, just on the Virgil van Dijk situation, I wrote a story on my transfer notebook a few weeks ago that Liverpool are confident he will extend his deal, so I think they're trying to get that done. Mo Salah's a really interesting one, because I think we can all agree that his form, certainly since the African Cup of Nations, has not been quite as good, hence the fact that he's been taken off in a few games and left out altogether, left on the bench at the weekend, although I'm sure he'll feature the Merseyside derby tonight. He has a great record in that fixture. So there is work to be done, but they've got a lot of talented young players coming through. I think, again, that makes Slot quite an attractive proposition, because he's got a track record at Feyenoord of developing young talent and getting them into the first team. And I understand where you're coming from with the similarities at Manchester United, but where I think Liverpool have been clever is they've got the boardroom structure right before they've even gone down the road of looking for a manager. Obviously, Michael Edwards returning to a club that he knows well. Richard Hughes coming in from Bournemouth, and he's played a big part in his recruitment process as well, despite the fact he's not officially started at Liverpool yet. You look at United, not only did Sir Alex Ferguson walk out the door back in 2013, David Gill went with him, and they never really, in the intervening 10 years, have got that sporting structure right. That's something Sir Jim Ratcliffe is trying to rectify. So I think it will be a smoother transition for Liverpool, because they've got the right people at boardroom level.
Thank you, Alex. We'll keep an eye on that. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers, guys.
Alex Crook, our chief football correspondent. As we said, Stephen Quimmer joins us a little bit later on. A Dutch football writer who's been keeping a close eye on this story and knows Slot from the Alkmaar days.
It's that old thing, though. Managing Feyenoord is one thing. Managing Liverpool is an
No,
opener altogether.
no, I'm not down that for a minute. But interesting to get your thoughts on this, Liverpool fans. talkSPORT.com, text 81089, tweet TS8 and J03717 223334. It's bold. I mean, he's done very well in Holland, and I think the football he plays is very exciting and entertaining. But yeah, we'll find out more from Holland later on. But that one's on talkSPORT, and we're going to bring you on the app this evening from 8 o'clock. Crystal Palace versus Newcastle. Palace coming off the back of a great performance and result against West Ham, scoring some lovely goals.
Yeah, and a win against Liverpool too.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get the thoughts now of seasoned Palace fan, Racing Post editor, friend of the show, Bruce Millington. Good afternoon, Bruce.
Hello, fellas. How are you?
Not too bad, thanks. I would have thought one of the things is it's just a shame that you've not seen more of Elise and Eza together this season, really.
Yes, I mean, I don't think it's overstating it to say that we could have finished, you know, for us, very high had they both been fit. I mean, I think they've started 7 games out of 33. You know, it's just been, we just haven't seen Elise. Everyone was so pleased when he signed on for another season. It looked like he was going to go to Chelsea or somewhere else. But because of the injury he picked up in, when he was away with France in the summer, and then a subsequent one, we've barely seen him. But in the last 2 games, as they have both started, they've shown just what a phenomenal pair they are. I mean, they are so dangerous together. It brings back memories of kind of Zaha and Balassi tearing it up simultaneously down the wing. And I think hopefully we're going to keep them for the last few games and enjoy that. The big question then comes in the summer, who's going to stay and who's going to go. But for now, we'll enjoy it because they really are 2 very special talents. And I think is that when they're both fit, a club like Palace, if they've only got 1 star man, we had this with Zaha, the opposition can smother that particular threat. But when they're both fit and playing, they're very hard to defend against. Liverpool found it, and West Ham were absolutely blown away by them.
Yeah. And you can add Mateta today, he's playing so well with them that it's a triple threat really at the moment, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I've been following Palace since the early 70s. I cannot think of a player who has improved so much as this guy in the course of the season. I mean, you know, he was pretty much a lummox. You know, it just was. I mean, he was clumsy, he wouldn't hold the ball up, he had very little to offer, and this season he's grown and grown and grown, and he's absolutely superb now. I mean, it must be a confidence thing, plus presumably a bit of a nod to the coaches, but what a phenomenal improved performance from him, and it's great to see because we needed it. You know, we haven't had a decent striker for a long time, and hopefully he'll kick on now and keep banging the goals in. So, you know, we've gone from being fairly boring and dull to being a fairly exciting team to watch now. I'm really looking forward to tonight's game. I mean, Newcastle are a terrific team. I think 11 of their last 14 games have produced at least 4 goals. So it should be a good one tonight.
Yeah, they're in full. So yeah. What difference has Glasner made? Have you noticed that on the field?
The material difference is that we've gone from 4-3-3 to 3-5-2. I was very sceptical about it because I think you can only really play back 3 if the key to that formation is good wing backs. And I was worried about Tyler Mitchell really because I think he's a terrific defensive fullback in a 4. I'm still not entirely sure he's got the tools to be a wing back. But he's making a good fist of it. And in January we bought Daniel Munoz, who's a terrific right back, so a right wing back. So that's been the main change. But one of the big improvements, as well as Elise and Eze being fit, is this kid Adam Wharton we've got from Blackburn. I promise you guys, this guy, on everything I've seen, is going right to the top. He's as skinny as a rake. He's wears one of these ones that wears his socks halfway down his ankles. Looks like he's trying to enter a knobbly knees competition, but he's got a bit of bite to him. He's got lovely vision. He's always looking to play forward. I've got really high hopes for this lad. I think he's superb.
It's another one of those players that maybe spent a bit longer in the Championship than you'd think, and people would sort of ummed and ahed in a way they wouldn't over an overseas player, but because they're in the Championship, they procrastinate.
It's called recruitment.
It's called recruitment, but there we are. You know, it's a Carlos Kickerball, as Alan Sugar said years ago, but Adam Wharton has proved that. He's a long line of players that step up out of the Championship. We're always willing to question whether a player can do that more than we say, well, could they, you know.
Sure.
We're happy if they can jump jump from the Dutch league or the lower reaches of the French league, but not the Championship.
I mean, I think the Championship is the best recruitment ground for the Premier League. I really do. I mean, Eze was from there, you know, Elise came from Reading. If you can identify these gems, you can get them for a decent price. They're battle hardened. They don't need to acclimatise to a new country. And we've done really well. Dougie Freeman's been recruiting so well in recent years, and Wharton is another in that line of tremendous recruits. And like I say, I think this lad is going to be an England international.
Finally, are you feeling that you're going to lose Eze or Elise or both of them this summer?
Yes. I think, you know, I think Elise will go simply because it was likely he was going to go last year. And we need to be clear here. Elise is a better player than Eze. That's nothing against Eze. That's more about how good Elise is. As long as he hasn't become a player who's going to succumb to regular injuries, he is going to, I think he's a properly elite level footballer. I think wherever he goes, he'll be a superstar. I saw some Arsenal fans saying they like him as backup to Saka. This kid doesn't back anyone up, believe me. He's better than Saka, and he really is, I think. And I think he's destined for the top. I think he will go. I hope Eze stays. I hope Gay stays. Let's not forget about him and how good he is. He's been injured. You know, if we let go, if we lose Elise and keep everyone else, you never know. We might even get Zaha back in the summer. Then we've got half a chance next season. If we lose both, it's going to be they're two very big holes to fill. So I'm going to enjoy the rest of this season and then start worrying about, you know, where they go and if they go. But hopefully we can keep them and enjoy them next season. I suspect, however, that Elise will go.
You have plenty of money to spend. That's the other way of looking at it.
The other way to look at it.
You know, PSR, you know, permitting. Cheers, Bruce. Enjoy the game tonight. Thanks very much.
All the best, guys. Thank you.
Bruce Millington there, former editor of the Racing Post, Palace fan, here tonight's game against Newcastle, which, as Bruce said, should have goals in it. That's 8 o'clock on the talkSPORT app. That's not on UK TV. So we're back to Holland, and we're back to Arne Slot and discussing the possibility of a quick announcement on that. Stephen Koeman will join us, Dutch football writer at their Telegraph, to bring us the very latest on that, his understanding, and how he thinks he'll fit in, should he get the job at Liverpool. We're here with Toolstation. Head over to toolstation.com to grab great deals on our DeWalt range for a job done right.
Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Join the Toolstation Club today and get 5% off everything. Toolstation, for a job done right. Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Conquer the entire job faster and easier with click and collect to over 550 stores nationwide. For a job done right.
Ready for some quick football trivia? Question 1. Which football club is known as the Tigers? Cambridge United or Hull City? Question 2. Which team plays its home games at Deepdale? Preston North End or Rochdale? Final question. What are you betting on? Free time or family time? To keep it an enjoyable experience, take time to think. And let's play responsibly. Sky Bet, for the fans. 18 plus begambleaware.org.
Tickling your boss's hand is not appropriate. Shaking it is. Eating a bucket of KFC at your desk is not appropriate. Eating the new KFC lunch meal deal is. It's a Twister wrap, crisps and drink from $5.49. Workplace appropriate, but when finger licking is not. Weekdays until 3 p.m. Thanks for your participating restaurants only. See kfc.co.uk before T6Ds.
That's not simple. That's not simple. Now that's simple.
I know it is.
Car insurance is simple, because when life is this complicated, finding a great deal shouldn't be. Great cover, great price, and a great app makes us one of the UK's top choices when comparing car insurance online. Hastings Direct. Simplicity is the best policy. For verification, see hastingsdirect.com/verify.
Not shopped at Ocado, but you've heard it's the best. Now you can shop for 25% less. Groceries delivered free to your address. There's an Ocado just for you.
First time customer, get 25% off your grocery shop and free delivery.
There's an Ocado just for you.
New customers only. Minimum spend £60. Max saving £20. Geographical restrictions apply. Conditions at ocado.com. Verify at info@ocadoretail.com.
Bet you
UK have got some mad offers.
Like what? Free bets?
Yeah, man. £30 in free bets when you bet £10.
You joking? Really?
Yeah. And even with a free bet, I still wouldn't back your team.
Oh, whatever, mate.
Whatever you think, visit betuk.com or download the app to get your £30 in free bets. BetUK, it's where the UK bets.
New customers only, £10 minimum bet. Minimum odds and T&Cs apply. 18 plus, please gamble responsibly.
talkSPORT Traffic and Travel with My Dear Cooling and Heating. Find an easier route to win air conditioning split system projects with My Dear. Win more, earn faster. That's the My Dear idea.
In North Yorkshire, the A1M is still closed southbound after a collision shut from Boroughbridge at junction 48 along to junction 47 for the A59. In Worcestershire, the N5 southbound is queuing after a collision involving a lorry just before junction 5 for Droitwich and the A38. In Surrey, the M25 is slow anti-clockwise heading through the roadworks area. That's between junction 11 at Chertsey and junction 10 for the A3. I'm Adam Moore.
Premier League live on talkSPORT.
Pops up with an absolute belter of a goal.
Brighton versus Manchester City. Coverage from 7. Kick-off 8 p.m.
No one else brings you more.
And he's smashed it into the top corner.
Thursday night on talkSPORT.
Football fantastic.
Well, it's Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. A little bit later on, we're going to be talking boxing with Sky commentator Andy Clark. He's written a new book, The Knockout, Sport's Most Decisive Moments. Cracking read, really interesting. And Andy will be here to chat about that when we stick with the football. And the story is the final manager potentially becoming the next Liverpool manager. Let's cross the Holland and get the very latest on this and find out a little bit more about his suitability for the role. Stephen Cullen is a Dutch football writer at Der Telegraaf and covered AZ Alkmaar during the slot years. Good afternoon, Stephen.
Yeah, good afternoon, boys.
So, how strong a story is this in your eyes? I'm sure you and your colleagues on the paper have been digging into this, ringing all your contacts. If you were a betting man, would you be saying that Arne Slot's going to be the next Liverpool manager?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. We know him quite a bit, and know Feyenoord as well. They're already looking for a new manager. No, it's a done deal. Yeah.
What's different this year? I mean, he turned down Tottenham.
He's been linked with a lot of English clubs.
He has. He turned down Leeds, turned down Tottenham last year. The timing didn't feel right. They just won the title. This year they're going to probably finish second, aren't they? So he's not been able to follow that up. So what is different? Is it the fact it's Liverpool, or what's changed?
Well, I'm not sure. I think Spurs didn't want to go, all the way to the moon to contract him. Was also had to do something with buyouts and stuff like that. Obvious Liverpool is a way bigger name than Spurs. Sorry for Spurs. I think the style of football is also the Arne Slot style of football. So he likes to play 4-3-3. He believes that you can play, that you can be successful as a manager with attractive football. So that I think also important. And come on, boys, Liverpool is huge.
Yeah, on the other hand, though, it's following Jurgen Klopp, who's been very successful, and that's never easy. I mean, all managers believe in themselves, but that he's under pressure right from the word go. Really, I think.
Yeah, you're right, but if one person believes in himself, it's Arne Slot. And maybe an interesting fact: he is from Bergenheim. It sounds German, and it's pretty close to the German border. Actually, he's only 3 miles from the border, so he's sort of half German. So maybe that'll help him. No, you're right. Jurgen Klopp is a legend. So I mean, one is never sure about if he can succeed him, but the moment he started his coaching career, his training career, he was an assistant first. He has been always successful. Always. Make him the manager of Sunderland, and his team will play attractive football. Will play, what is Ruud Gullit say? Sexy football. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think he's a top candidate because of his style of managing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it goes at an interesting time, and it's important really that Liverpool as a club knows the next man's going to be really before the end of the season. I wonder is this going to unsettle to the final. As I said, they're well off the pace with PSV, so they're not going to win the title. So I suppose in some ways that doesn't compromise what's going on in Holland, and the Liverpool players kind of need to know who's going to be in next year. You don't want to kind of vacuum, which is what they've had really since the Klopp announcement.
No, but I think it's a very good time actually to leak this news. I mean, Feyenoord just won the cup. That's not that as hard as it is in England. So he gave Feyenoord a second prize, and I think that his understanding with the director, de Kloeske, Mike de Kloeske, who worked in the US. He knows that if there's a real big club, is calling, that he will answer the phone, and they need to buy him out. So I think Feyenoord already is speaking of 15 million euros. So we're not that rich, in the Netherlands.
So we were hearing 10 million euros, but you think it's nearer 15, Stephen? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But maybe that's the starting. The starting bid of Liverpool is 10, and the Feyenoord is last 15, so somewhere in between.
Sure.
Yeah, he's going to be aware of how difficult it's been for Erik ten Hag. That he wouldn't be human if he hadn't. I mean, it's been difficult for him, hasn't it? And it's hard to see. It's hard to see Ten Hag there next season.
You know what? It was hard for it was hard for Ronald Koeman. It was hard for Louis van Gaal. But this is a different guy. I'm pretty sure about that. He's I think he will speak his English quite proper. He's eloquent. He's civilized. He's more Jurgen Klopp type than Erik ten Hag type. But you're right. Yeah, of course he knows it's hard. And there are like 4 or 5 huge contenders in the Premier League, right? So he won't finish as number 1 or 2 guaranteed as in the Netherlands. So yeah.
Do you sense, finally, we've just mentioned Ten Hag, so I'll ask you the question, do you sense that he won't survive and be at Manchester United next year?
I wouldn't put any no Dutch old gill on that. No, I don't think so. No.
And you said Feyenoord were already looking for another manager. Have they got anybody in mind?
Yeah, the guy's his name is Oostin. Sort of he's from the east. Scots from the east. No, FC20. Yeah, their manager.
Oh, okay.
He's developing too well. Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, good stuff, Stephen. That's interesting. Done deal. You kicked us off with. Excellent. So, look, good to talk to you. Thanks for joining us.
One thing.
Yeah.
Now, Scott is a real good friend of the former Liverpool goalie Sander Westerveld. They play a lot of golf together.
Oh, okay.
So,
so he's got a man on the
just a small detail.
Man on the inside who will probably help him out. Yeah. Thank you, Stephen.
Never know. Okay. Bye, guys.
Stephen Koeman, there, Dutch football writer, feeling that it's done. It's done. He's going to be the next Liverpool manager. That is very interesting. Very confident, and this is a man who knows him pretty well. So. Well, we await the white smoke from Anfield. As we said, they'll probably want to announce it early on because there's recruitment to be done. Players need to know where they stand, who's going to be in charge. And, and it'll give Jurgen Klopp a chance to welcome him in and say nice things at the last game of the season, just as Sir Alex Ferguson did. That didn't work quite as well for David Moyes, so that works out slightly better. So we're talking boxing in the next hour, bit of rugby. Tom Gilby's going to join us, wine connoisseur and wine dealer who ran the marathon in London at the weekend, having a glass of wine at each mile, and also predicting what they were, spotting them and revealing what they were. And that's all to come. Tim Vickery with us later on. We'll talk some Manchester United and lots more besides. And we'll build up to the Merseyside derby live on talkSPORT from 8.
Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Join the Toolstation Club today and get 5% off everything. Toolstation, for a job done right. Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Join the Toolstation Club today and get 5% off everything. Toolstation, for a job done right.
Welcome to 32 Red Online Casino! Incredible! Play over 500 games, including exclusive slots, the cube, tipping point, and I'm a celebrity get me on here! Join 32 Red and get a bang tiny welcome bonus up to 150 quid. 150 quid? That's incredible! plus begambleaware.com. New accounts only. Minimum £10 deposit. Up to 50 times wagering. Max stakes apply. Visit 32red.com for full terms.
Nice grooming. It must be great with Skull Shaver products. Smooth and fast head shaving experience with Pitbull Shaver. 90 seconds and done. For face shaving, one line shaver with innovative features. Do you need a simple haircut? Use Beast Clipper. 5 minutes and done. Do you need to shave your back or somewhere else? We have easy and fast solutions. For ladies, beautiful and fast Butterfly Kiss Shaver. Skull Shaver products have over 100,000 5-star reviews worldwide. Find out what's new in grooming at skullshaver.co.uk.
That's not simple. That's not simple. Now that's simple. Hastings Direct Car Insurance is simple, because when life is this complicated, finding a great deal shouldn't be. Great cover, great price, and a great app makes us one of the UK's top choices when comparing car insurance online. Hastings Direct. Simplicity is the best policy. For verification, see hastingsdirect.com/verify.
Travis Perkins have got tons of perks. Travis Perks, to help you with your landscaping jobs. Like Travis Perk number 7. Big trade deals on their garden and driveway range. To help you drive your way to success. Get it?
Stick to the script, please, Nick.
And Travis Perk number 15. Real-time order tracking. To help you stay on track. Threw in another little pun there.
Hilarious.
Find more Travis Perks at travisperkins.co.uk. Terms apply.
In People's Postcode Lottery's May draws, your ordinary postcode could deliver some rather extraordinary news. Because a share of £17.3 million must be won. And there are prizes every day. So join the 70% of postcodes across Great Britain that are already playing. And sign up your postcode before midnight on the 30th of April. Good things come knocking with People's Postcode Lottery. PPL manage lotteries on behalf of good causes. 18 plus conditions apply. Play responsibly, not available in Northern Ireland.
Get an expert guide to all the latest speculation, signings and spending sprees with Simon Jordan's Football Business Roundup on talkSPORT with Tesco Mobile for Business. From the latest deals worth knowing to where the big money transfers are going. Get the inside track in one all-covering football finance feature. Simon Jordan's Football Business Roundup on talkSPORT with Tesco Mobile for Business. Join Tesco Mobile and get business phone bills for up to 40% less than the big mobile networks. Tesco Mobile. Every little helps. For applicable terms and verification, see tescomobile.com/business. On 1089 and 1053 medium wave. Online, on your mobile and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT. Talk Sport.
Footlookers vans. Hundreds of vans online, big or small. We've got something for every business and every taste at Lookers. A good deal? Better.
Continue the build-up to our 4 live games on the talkSPORT network and the app this evening, with an eye on the Merseyside derby later on from an Evertonian point of view. Massive game for both clubs this evening. Live on talkSPORT at 8, but let's get these sports headlines now with Tom Clayton.
Paul, thank you. Good afternoon. Could Liverpool's search for a Klopp replacement be over? We understand they've opened talks with Feyenoord's Arne Slot. Dutch football expert Marcel van der Kraan reckons a deal could be struck by this weekend, but it won't be cheap if Liverpool want to buy him out of his contract.
I think the money will have to come up to 50 million euros, which is about 13 million pounds.
We'll keep our eyes out in case he's at the Merseyside derby tonight. You can hear it exclusively live on talkSPORT. Now, Eric Ten Hag and the Manchester United players could be heading for a significant pay cut this summer. talkSPORT understands there are clauses in contracts that could see some wages drop significantly for missing the Champions League. That could be as much as 25% for Ten Hag if he doesn't get the sack. Now, some mixed news coming from Pep Guardiola when asked about the fitness of Erling Haaland, Phil Foden and John Stones ahead of Brighton.
Erling is not ready for tomorrow, and the other two, they are ready.
It's the second game in a row Haaland will miss after Saturday's FA Cup semi-final against Chelsea. Tomorrow's match at Brighton's exclusively live on talkSPORT. And the Prime Minister says football plays a key part in the UK's bond with Germany.
The love that Liverpool has for Jurgen Klopp, or that Munich has for Harry Kane. It's a reminder of the special bond of friendship that His Majesty has described.
He's also joked about deepening that bond if and when England play Germany at the Euros this summer. Scotland definitely will play Germany at the tournament's curtain raiser on the 14th of June. That'll be live on talkSPORT.
talkSPORT News.
3 men have been arrested after the deaths of 5 migrants in a small boat yesterday, and a school in Wales is in lockdown after police made an arrest for a suspected stabbing. Will has more in half an hour.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. With over 600 centres across the UK, most of which open 7 days a week, we're here for every journey. QuickFit. Drive away happy every time.
Relatively dry for much of the country, just a few patchy showers in the east and southwest.
On 1089 and 1053 medium wave, on DAB, online and on your smart speaker. Paul Hawksby and Andy Jacobs on talkSPORT.
Good afternoon, it's Paul Hawksby and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. We're in the second hour of the show. Andy Clark, boxing commentator for Sky, and our former colleague here at talkSPORT, will be popping in to chat about his new book on sport's most decisive moment, The Knockout. Plus, Tom Gilby, wine connoisseur and marathon runner who was guessing wine as he had a little sip and sometimes finished the glass on each mile of the London Marathon at the weekend. And Abby Ward, the England rugby player, joins us to talk about a new documentary you can catch on ITV at the moment, A Bump in the Road. Just a little bit more football news. Ralf Rangnick, formerly of Manchester United and RB Leipzig, has revealed that he's been contacted by Bayern Munich about the possibility of being...
He was such a huge success at United.
Well, he was very successful at Leipzig, to be fair, but the managerial merry-go-round continues. But we shall see. We'll keep an eye on that one for you as well. In the meantime, Andy, is there anything else you want to discuss?
Yeah, well done to Jude Bellingham. He won a prize at our old favourite, the extremely pointless Laureus Sports Awards.
It's very glitzy, isn't it?
Or as Roger Moore memorably described them, for sporting achievements.
He did say that. The great sporting achievements. Yes, You've never forgotten that one slip. I mean, Roger Moore's great career. In TV, knitting patterns, but not necessarily in that order. And then, of course, as Bond in another fine work. And all you remember him for is saying the word achievements.
I only ever watched the first one. It was so pointless. They do it every year, but
yeah. Well, you're never going to get an invite now, Randy.
I was fascinated by
Did you like Jude's suit? You're a bit of a style counsellor.
Ridiculous.
Double-breasted, quite loose-fitting, bell-bottom kegs.
Trousers. Yeah. Well,
you weren't keen?
Yeah, not really. No, you can get away with it though.
You can carry off because I was saying this to Charlie yesterday. Charlie looked
ridiculous.
My
legs are too short.
That wouldn't look very good.
Talking about outfits, see, Scotty Scheffler won the RBC Heritage Award trophy rather on Sunday. He picked up another jacket. It's like a tartan. You think, get your own ideas, honestly.
There should only be one jacket.
Yes. Who wants a tartan jacket? It's got no allure to it at all.
Was that, so for winning this tournament, you win the tartan jacket?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Well, you obviously win a lot of money as well. They just win a tartan jacket.
Sorry, the entry for the jacket, really. I just needed the tartan jacket. So,
tremendous.
Are there any other sporting achievements where you win a jacket? I can't think of any others, can you?
So, no.
Well, let's ask the listeners, shall we? Yeah. Maybe you go for a jacket at your golf club. I don't know. Maybe there's jacket to be won in the lower reaches of sport. If you want to share that with the class, we'd love to hear from you.
Talk about a relegation. It's like a straight jacket.
talkSPORT.com. Text 81089. Tweet to TS80 03717223344. Shocking news, Andy, which could really get me into trouble. Using the phrase "back in your day" to an older colleague could be age harassment. Apparently there is a story doing the rounds today where somebody sued a colleague for saying the phrase "back in your day." Blimey, you'd have a few quid off of me, wouldn't you? Although your day's not different from my day.
No, Alan gave it short shrift on breakfast this morning. I agree with him. It's ludicrous. These people should be thrown out of court. How can you sue somebody for that? It's honestly pathetic.
Okay, you're in that kind of mood today.
Well, it is. It's poor, isn't it? I was fascinated by the seagull screeching champion.
Yeah, I saw him on the box last night. He's amazing, isn't
he? Wallace from Chesterfield.
The man with two surnames.
Very much so.
He's at school at the moment, the young lad, and so we won't be chatting to him. But
I know him actually. He walked past me and nicked my chips. That's quite upset.
It's a bit much, wasn't it? I suppose that's the downside of it for a 9-year-old to come and nick your chips when you're walking on Brighton Seafront.
Is he a Brighton fan?
I don't know if he is or not. I don't think so. He lives. He's a fair old way from Brighton,
really.
Isn't he? Yeah, he lives in Chesterfield, so that would be a schlep. But he often hangs around the bins at the town centre. Of course he doesn't. But no, I saw his mum interviewed last night on the telly, and she said it was like just got on everybody's nerves. But then we realised it was a really good impression. So he's gone off to Belgium to the World seagull imitation tournament. I know. It's hard to believe, isn't it? The EC Gull Screeching Contest, and he's come back with the prize. What an achievement. Amazing, isn't it?
Goal! That's the South American bird.
Goal at the Emirates, Mike Boville. That's right, yeah, it'd be one of those, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
So well done to him, but we're not talking to him, unfortunately, today. We did ask you earlier on, I was telling you, the little bombshells that people drop. We did love Robin Asquith, actor, saying that he once sat on a plane in the middle of Tommy Docherty and Stevie Wonder. I've been telling that story every day of my life. This is like about 1,000, and some people reacted to journalist and screenwriter David Quantick online, who was telling similar stories today, these little bombshells. One of them said, I once played football on the beach at North Berwick with Rod Stewart and the Faces. My dad didn't even bother to take a picture. Fantastic. So we're getting some good one of those today.
That Birch winding me up. It's the last thing I need.
Of course he
has.
has. Of course he has. Mark Birch, QPR fan, former player, giving you some clog.
People have been comparing Nicholas Jackson's hair to his, actually.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he'll thank you for that. Matt says, my granddad had an old army pal in the Midlands called Doug, who kept saying to him, why don't you come down to Aston Villa and watch us play? And he said, oh no, I can't be bothered, I'm more a rugby man. It was Doug Ellis.
Fantastic.
Yeah, the granddad telling the son, aren't they, the grandson all those years on.
That's incredible.
One of those little bombshells, talksport.com, text 81089, tweet TSH&J. Anything else?
I love a headline explain.
Yes.
The tabloids don't think that the listeners are readers rather are clever enough to know what's going on. So the headline is about Jerry Horner and Mel B's frosty reunion.
Oh yeah.
And the headline was "Say You'll Be Over There," because they were sort of separated. And it says, a source said of the Stars, who had a second #1 in 1996, and "Say You'll Be There." Yes. You know that.
Really no point putting it in there.
I know. There's another one with Celine Dion as well.
And do you think the PGMOL are now just deliberately winding Nottingham Forest up? Because David Coote's going to be doing the game between Luton and Wolves at the weekend.
Yeah.
And David Coote's a Notts County fan.
Is he? Really?
Right.
Yeah. That's not good, is it?
Just to wind them up. I think it's doubling down. He's saying, question our integrity, and that's what we'll do. I think we're all looking forward to, well, I say that, I know my wife isn't, who says it's the most boring programme on earth.
I'll have to watch it for the first time. I've never watched it before.
Match officials mic'd up. It's going to be a hot ticket next week, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Because they'll be going through the Forest decisions, I guess. Or maybe they won't, maybe they'll just blank it, not thinking it's worthy of a conversation. I don't know.
No, you don't know.
So, we're going to be chatting to Andy Clark, the commentator for Sky in the world of boxing, who's written a really good new book called The Knockout, Sport's Most Decisive Moment. He comes at the knockout in boxing from all different angles. We'll be chatting to Andy very shortly. And as we said later on, continuing the build-up to tonight's football and that Merseyside derby, of course, one of 4 games we bring you across the network on the app here on talkSPORT. We are here with our very good friends at Toolstation for a job done right.
Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Join the Toolstation Club today and get 5% off everything. Toolstation, for a job done right. Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Get everything you need to conquer the whole job with free delivery 7 days a week on orders over £25. For a job done right.
Welcome to 32 Red Online Casino! Incredible! Play over 500 games, including exclusive slots, the cube, tipping point, and I'm a celebrity get the over here! Join 32 Red and get a bang tiny welcome bonus up to 150 quid. 150 quid? That's incredible! Visit 32red.com to claim. 18 plus BGambleAware.com. New accounts only. Minimum £10 deposit. Up to 50 times wagering. Max stakes apply. Visit 32red.com for full terms.
Here's an offer from Volkswagen we think you'll approve of. Get 5.9% APR representative on an all-electric approved used Volkswagen ID4 or ID5 up to 36 months old on Solutions PCP and 2 years servicing. Your Volkswagen approved used retailer will also include 2 years warranty and 2 years roadside assistance as standard. An all-electric ID4 or ID5 to drive away today. what's not to approve of? Don't miss out. Offer ends April 30th. Search Volkswagen approved used ID.
Indemnities may be required. At participating retailers, vehicles up to 100,000 miles with activation. ID4 and ID5 models only. Volkswagen Finance.
With Now, you can stream all the drama of the Premier League instantly and without a contract.
Absolutely brilliant.
This Sunday, two of the title contenders are in action as Tottenham take on Arsenal in the North London derby before Nottingham Forest face Man City at the City Ground.
Can you believe it?
Get all Sky Sports channels for a day or a whole month with a Now Sports membership. Stream the race for the title live this Sunday from 2 p.m. Head to nowtv.com.
18 plus Sky Sports content streamed via internet. Full terms apply.
At BetMGM, we know how to put on a show. That's why they got me, Chris Rock, to tell you about BetMGM's golden offers. Sign up to BetMGM, bet 10 pounds, and get 40 pounds in free bets. We're making every game an occasion. Get ready for the golden era in sports betting. BetMGM. It's showtime.
New customers only. Wagering requirements and conditions apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
Some people's paint jobs are bish bash botched, but Toolstation customers don't settle for less. With Crown Trade Paint, you roll over the rest. Your standards never slip or trip. A coat of paint isn't just decoration. Every brush stroke's a strategy. Every finish finessed. You've got it covered. Expertly covered with Crown Trade. Now 15% off when you shop in-store, online or on the app. Toolstation, for a job done right.
Let's get to business. talkSPORT Traffic and Travel with MyDear Cooling and Heating. Find an easier route to win heat recovery VRF projects with MyDear. Win more, earn faster. That's the MyDear idea.
In North Yorkshire, the A1M is still closed southbound after a collision. It's shut from junction 48 at Boroughbridge along to junction 47 for the A59. In West Yorkshire, the M62 westbound is partly blocked after a collision. It's between junction 27 at Gilderson and 26 for Chain Bar. And in Chester, the M6 southbound is partly blocked by a broken down lorry. It's just by the turn off of Crewe and the A534 at junction 17. I'm Adam Moore.
Ready for some quick football trivia? Question 1. Which football club is known as the Tigers? Cambridge United or Hull City? Question 2. Which team plays its home games at Deepdale? Preston North End or Rochdale? Final question. What are you betting on? Free time or family time? To keep it an enjoyable experience, take time to think. And let's play responsibly. Sky Bet, for the fans. 18 plus BeGambleAware.org.
Friday night, live championship football on talkSPORT 2.
Oh, he scored! QPR versus Leeds. Coverage from 7, kick-off 8 p.m.
It's in off the post!
Friday night, sharp shooting radio on talkSPORT 2.
Oh, that's magnificent!
I'm going to talk a bit of boxing now, and a new book which I'm very much enjoying. It's by one of our former colleagues here at talkSPORT, Andy Clark. These days, a fine boxing commentator, brings you many of the commentaries on Sky. And he's taken on what he calls sport's most decisive moment in his new book, The Knockout, looking at the knockout in boxing from every conceivable angle, for those knocked out, those who've done the knocking out, from the trainers, from the referees and promoters and everybody else. Andy Clark joins us. Good to see you, Andy.
Great to see you two as well. I was just saying to you off air that 20 plus years ago I used to AP on this show every now and again.
Oh, they've all been through.
They've all gone on to bigger and better things, apart from us. That's just stayed here.
And the very first piece of boxing commentary I did was for a feature that involved our dearly beloved Gilo. And I had to mock up some boxing commentary, and I remember listening to it when it went out, and Andy saying, "Oh, Andy Clark there, one of our football reporters, doing some boxing. Maybe there's a career in that for him."
Wow, prophetic words. You've often been a talent spotter, haven't you?
Yeah. Actually, a football scout.
Yes, yeah.
Better job than the ones we've got at Chelsea, but there we go.
So, Andy, The Knockout you have taken, as I said, it's a nuanced read. You've come at it from a lot of different angles. What was the catalyst for writing? Is it something that's always fascinated you?
It is. It's this just incredible moment in sport that can't be rivaled really in other sports, where you've got this enormous difference between winning and losing. And you could say that about moments in other sports, but it's just not the same. It just isn't the same. And the mentality of winning and losing and how you cope with either one how you prepare yourself for either one, how you get over it if you've lost. Just the overall mentality of a life spent living in those kinds of circumstances in such an extreme sport is something that's always really fascinated me. And I just didn't really feel like anybody had gone into it in real depth. You know, what does it feel like in that moment to knock somebody out? And what does it feel like to get knocked out? Which, as it turns out, is a question that cannot really be answered, because if you're knocked out cold, some fighters might feel like they remember pieces of it, but actually they don't. They're memories that are inserted after the event. But in the case of Amir Khan, who was my kind of star performer for this, he got all but knocked out cold by Bradis Prescott, but not quite. So he remembers most of it. You know, what does that feel like? And they're much more willing to talk about it than people might think, because for them it's just something that can and almost certainly will happen to you at some point if you fight for long enough.
We were talking, weren't we, off there, that attitudes to knockouts have changed, haven't they? Now
there's a fight of welfare and concerns for that, in a way that if you listen to a lot of the old American commentaries, no one's saying he's not moving, get the doctor in, everybody's concerned. There's no, you know, everybody's lost in the moment. I think that's a kind of fine balance that you have to tread when you commentate. You've got to get the excitement of the moment across, yet just be aware of what's going on with the other fighter who's down.
That's it, and you do allow yourself to get lost in the moment, but really only for a moment or a couple of moments, and then you have to respond to what's actually going on in the ring. And that's one of the most interesting things about it. It's this thing that everybody wants to see, but very often, almost as soon as you've seen it, you kind of wish that you hadn't seen it. You kind of crave it and fear it in equal measure. It's always been like that, but as you say, now people are more alive to it, they're more sensitive to it than they ever have been before. I remember the worst one I've seen from ringside was on the undercard of AJ Usyk at Tottenham, and Callum Smith knocked out a fighter called Lenny Castillo. Brilliant punch. We had a great view of it, me and Matt Macklin. Beautiful right hand, and you explode with that, and then he's lying on his back and his leg starts twitching, and all of a sudden it's just a completely different story, because you're looking at somebody, without wishing to try and dramatise anything, you don't know whether they're alive or dead. You could be watching somebody dying. It's as simple as that, because boxing is that serious.
Do you have a favourite knockout?
It probably is Froch Groves, because it is the perfect knockout in so many ways. It's a beautifully delivered punch, but it's the scale of the event, the fact that it was Froch's last ever punch thrown in the ring. He was always one of my favourites, Carl, which he takes great amusement in when I told him that. But he genuinely always was, because he was great to watch. But he was a textbook punch. It finished his career as it turned out. As it turned out, it absolutely didn't finish George's. But a key part of it is that people were able to enjoy that one guilt-free, because a few seconds later Groves somehow managed to get back to his feet. Too late for the referee to allow him to continue, but he got back to his feet, and so you could watch that and savour it and enjoy it without any of that guilt that often comes with it.
There's people in there that can stop the fight, the trainers by sort of throwing the towel in, or the referees by, you know, just getting between the fighters, and so they have a responsibility as well, because you could argue they could rob you of a knockout. But so I'm sure, what was the attitude? Let's start with the trainers. When you spoke to trainers about the knockout, what was their feeling around it?
Well, it's a really conflicting thing for them, because obviously they want their fighter to knock people out. They want to win by knockout, because you don't go to the judges. It's decisive, it's over, it's done, there's no argument, there's no coming back from it. But they also desperately don't want their fighter to be knocked out. But if you want someone to be successful, if you want your boxer to be successful, you have to allow themselves to put themselves in danger. It's just identifying that fine line between, do they still have a chance of winning, even if they're in there under heavy fire, or not? And if it gets to the point where you feel they can't win anymore, then you have to pull them out. But you have to allow them to put themselves in danger to be in that situation, and it's a really, really, really difficult decision. It's a terrible decision to have to make a lot of the time.
And the referees have got a bit of a distance on it. They've got kind of no skin in the game. They've got no relationship, as you like, with the boxers. So it's, you know, they've got a different take on it, I guess.
They do, but it's not that different, because they know that this is hugely important for boxers. The welfare of the fighter will be their overriding #1 concern, but it's not their only concern. When I spoke to them, they admit that you have to look at, you know, where are you in the fight, you know, the context of the fight. the bigger the fight, the bigger reward for the win. That does play a part, and also the fact that this is entertainment, and they know what people have come to see, and they know that they know what happens when people feel like they've been robbed of a conclusive finish. Like that first fight between Carl Froch and George Groves, that's what fueled the rematch in a lot of ways, but it was a controversial ending, and people felt unsatisfied that they didn't absolutely know for certain what would have happened, because as kind of brutal as it might sound in boxing, a knockout is often the natural conclusion.
It's interesting. Probably one of the most famous knockout photographs is the Muhammad Ali Cleveland Williams fight, isn't it? The aerial shot, the leaflet shot, which was taken on a remote cam from above the ring, where Watkins is splayed out and Ali's just walking away with arms in the air. It's just one of those iconic, it's one of the great iconic sporting photos, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, because that's it right there. You know, you've got someone on their back, and you've got someone in that moment of victory, and it doesn't get any more simple than that. And one thing that boxing's always had going for it over any other sport is that the dynamic of a fight is something any single person in the world can understand. Everyone knows what's happened there when they see that picture. They know the situation at play. Every other sport you have to explain it to a degree. I remember seeing a doc with David Beckham where he was going into the Amazon to play football, and he finds himself in a village where the people there don't know what football is. And for the first time ever, he has to explain to them what football is and what he is as a footballer. And it was just a really, really difficult thing to do. Whereas with fighting, everybody knows what a fight is. Everybody does. And so that image of Ali and Williams, everybody understands what has happened there.
And you talk about coming back from a knockout, and you talk about Ricky Hatton. And Ricky, had those two big defeats, didn't he? That were knockouts that really knocked him for six in more ways than one. Mentally as well, because it's the kind of machismo of it as well, and the embarrassment that a fighter often feels when they're, it's pretty raw, isn't it? Be lying there splayed out on the canvas.
Yeah, that was one thing I was really keen to discover, is that what is it that they're afraid of? It's not physical pain. They're not afraid of that. Johnny Nelson was really interesting on this too. His view is that fighters should be more concerned about that and use that as their motivation for self-preservation. But it isn't that. It's the humiliation of it. It's the embarrassment of it. It's ego. It's the damage to the ego. That's what they fear more than anything else, because it is just such a deeply personal and comprehensive way to lose. There's no real explaining it, and getting over it is difficult. You have to sell it to yourself as best you can, come up with any reason as to why it could have happened, and sometimes they're bizarre and outlandish, short of my opponent was better than me, because that doesn't work. That just does not work if you're going to recuperate from it. But it's a really hard road back from it, and some fighters don't ever really get over it. Others just seem to be able to manage to just shrug it off. But it's a really individual thing.
And there's those punches that fighters land that you think, well, they're not getting up from that, and they do. I guess in recent years, you probably noticed the Wilder Fury fight. When you think you've landed a knockout shot, it's the famous old Ali Foreman fight, when Foreman hits Ali with a shot, and he thinks something's going down. And he says, "Is that the best you've got, George?" Yeah. So I kind of knew in that moment I'd lost, So I suppose mentally that can have an effect on you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The ability to survive a knockout is Teddy Atlas is really interesting on this, and I spoke to Neil Scott, who's a doctor with the British Boxing Board of Control, and I was trying to ask him basically, how do you explain why some people are more difficult to knock out than others? And he just said there is no explaining that. If you assume that everybody's trained really hard, which at the top level they have, why one person will get knocked out and somebody else won't? He said you just can't explain that. And Teddy talks about the refusal to be knocked out, essentially the refusal to oblige the knockout. And if you hit somebody as hard as you can and down they go, but then they get back up again, that can be completely demoralising.
I suppose on a very basic level, if you knock someone out, it means you're not going to be punched in the face yourself anymore. So on a very basic level, it's good news, isn't it?
Yeah, and when you talk to fighters about winning by knockout, you imagine, or people will often imagine, that it will be this incredible moment. And the one I try to liken it to with a lot of fighters, but they haven't seen the film, so it didn't work, is The Quickening in Highlander, which is a mid-80s film, so this immediately excludes any of your younger listeners. But essentially they fight sword fights, and when you win this sword fight, thunder and lightning, windows smashed, energy bolts get channeled through your body, you sink to your knees, it's this massive, massive thing, and you kind of feel like, yeah, that should be what it feels like to win by knockout, but generally it's just relief.
Yeah.
It's just relief that it's not you,
yeah.
because, you know, without wishing to be too crude, you know, you're in this gunfight, and you're just relieved you're not dead.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that, and so it's not really, it can be euphoric, but it's the relief that fuels the euphoria for fighters, or they just don't really know what to do at all. Tony Bellew said to me, after he knocked out McCarthy at Wilson Park, he just didn't know what to do.
Now, you took the traditional route to boxing commentator by doing a classics degree, which is the way that most of them generally get into it. But you get a bit of mythology in there, don't you, in the book, I noticed?
Yeah, so there was, this is the first time it's ever happened in my entire career, but just to kind of give people an example of how far back this goes, in the Iliad, in the 23rd book of the Iliad, which, you know, depends on whether you think that happened at all, but people think that it probably about, you know, 1184 around about. There's a fight between Appius and Euryalus at some funeral games for a fallen Greek hero, and there's a really good description by Homer of a knockout, and you read it, and it's just not, it stands the test of time. You know, this has been going on for a really, really long time, and boxing kind of, or fighting, predates by a long, long way our kind of modern acceptance or understanding of what sport is, because team sports, the ones that we follow now, cricket, football, rugby, they're all very, very recent compared to pugilism, which stretches back, you know, forever, really.
I remember that knockout. I think he died.
Oh, you were there, weren't you?
Yeah, I was, yeah.
Andy went to that one, yeah, it was a good night out, wasn't it? Yeah, you can always sling a bit of Homer in your next boxing commentary, that would be good. So the book's out, it's out at the end of May, is that
End of May, yeah. So we decided it would be a good idea to do it to coincide with the 10th anniversary of Fox Groves, which is one of the ones I talk about. It's by no means the only one, but yeah, that seemed like a decent time for it. So it's available via pre-order now, but I just thought I'd get out and talk about it as much as I could this month, because next month's really, really busy.
Okay, Oram Books, not Bob Oram, of course.
That's very good.
Don't
explain that.
No, don't explain it. The Knockout, Sport's Most Decisive Moment by Andy Clark, as he said, available at the end of May. But I'm really enjoying it, and it's a cracking read. So
great, thanks. I'll send you some more copies.
Really interesting subject.
Brilliant.
We'll catch up with you soon.
Great, thanks for having me.
Andy Clark, their Sky commentator, author of The Knockout. So, still to come, we're going to be chatting to the man that ran the marathon, having a glass of wine on each mile.
Yes.
And guessing what they were, getting quite a lot of them right, actually. That is, wow. Interesting way to refuel on a marathon. And Abby Ward, England rugby player, will be joining us as well to chat about the new documentary on ITV.
Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Get everything you need to conquer the whole job with free delivery 7 days a week on orders over £25 for a job done right. Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Conquer the entire job faster and easier with click and collect to over 550 stores nationwide for a job done right.
In People's Postcode Lottery's May draws, your ordinary postcode could deliver some rather extraordinary news. Because a share of £17.3 million must be won. And there are prizes every day. So join the 70% of postcodes across Great Britain that are already playing. And sign up your postcode before midnight on the 30th of April. Good things come knocking with People's Postcode Lottery. PPL managed lotteries on behalf of good causes. 18 plus conditions apply. Play responsibly, not available in Northern Ireland.
At NFU Mutual, we offer quality insurance for businesses of all sizes. Our experts understand the challenges you face. So we've developed quality insurance products to offer extensive business cover. It's no wonder over 95% of our business customers renew each year. For top quality business insurance, search NFU Mutual Business Insurance. NFU Mutual, closer to your business and closer to what matters.
Looking for the right gift for the car lover in your life? Well, building the perfect present is like building the perfect car. You just need the right parts. MyMotorworld.com makes it easy with our gift builder. Choose from over 50 products from our car care range at the car, and you'll even get a special video message from me, Mike Brewer. With free delivery, give them something they really love. Search My Motor World Gift Builder online.
At Lidl, we're always big on quality and little on price. With super-powered savings on all your weekly staples, fresh deals on your 5 a day, and big brands that don't break the bank. You could save up to £35 by switching from Sainsbury's to Lidl with this week's big shop at lidl.co.uk/save. Prices check 15th of April 24. Sainsbury's also sell other products. See online for more details.
This is no ordinary mission. We're here to help carpet fitters bring comfort and luxury into every home. A new carpet deserves the best underlay to keep that brand new carpet look for light years. We're talking Tredair carpet underlay here. We're the Tredair Noughts. And with our range of underlays, we're on a mission to bring comfort and luxury into homes across the universe.
Tredair carpet underlay. Feels like nothing on earth.
You got a little wager with Paddy Power on this one then? Yeah, mate. Big man to score anytime. I'm backing him. Oh, it looks like it's the big man who's coming off. Oh, he's going to struggle to score from the bench, pal. Oh. Fear not, punter, because with Paddy Power's super sub, your bet carries over to the player coming off.
Y'all ready for this?
So now, all subs are super. Paddy Power. Football, you gotta love it. Valid on selected leagues and markets only. Pre-match and in-play bets on qualifying player outcome selections only. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18 plus begambleaware.org.
Online, on your mobile, on the app, and on your smart speaker. 50 great games of live football this April. talkSPORT.
talkSPORT News. At the back of our chat with Andy Clark, we're now being regaled with tales from the listeners of being knocked out, but in slightly not in the ring.
No, obviously.
I was knocked out by my gran at the age of 16, says Darren. We were messing around in the lounge and she swung her carrier bag at me, forgetting that she had a jar of Mrs. Elwood's pickles inside.
Oh dear.
Knocked me spark out. I don't remember much. Within reason, we will share some of those with you. talksport.com, text 81089, tweet TSH and J, 03717 223344. Let's get the news headlines now with Will Hobbs.
Thanks, Paul. Good afternoon. One person's been arrested at a school in Wales after 3 people were injured in a suspected stabbing. Parents say the school in Amerford, Carmarthenshire is in lockdown. Many have been waiting outside the school gates for updates. In other news, 3 men aged between 19 and 22 have been arrested for facilitating illegal immigration following a tragic incident in the Channel. 5 people, including a child, died travelling on a boat carrying over 100 migrants. Craig Turner is from the National Crime Agency.
This tragic incident once again demonstrates the threat to life posed by these crossings and brings into focus why it is so important to target these criminal gangs involved in organising them.
Angela Rayner's accused the government of delaying justice for those being served no-fault evictions. It's when a landlord gives no reason for evicting a tenant.
Instead of obsessing over my house, when will he get a grip and show the same obsession with ending no-fault evictions?
MPs are due to vote on the renters' bill later to ban so-called Section 21s. And in other housing news, Aberdeen's been named the cheapest city in the UK to buy a property. It's where a 2-bedroom home costs around £100,000. Rightmove's listed London and St Albans as the most expensive.
Talk Sport with Bostik. If you need a professional grade sealant with high mold resistance, easy tooling and minimal shrinkage, choose Bostik Pro Sealants.
Sport's been told the process for Liverpool to agree terms with Arne Slot could happen by this weekend, and talkSPORT understands Manchester United's players and Erik ten Hag could be headed for a significant pay cut. Tom has more at 3.
Turbocharge your Saturday with Game Day. It's the ultimate heavy-hitting Premier League experience.
Featuring 3 massive Premier League games.
West Ham versus Liverpool. Kick-off, 12:30.
On talkSPORT.
What a goal! Sheffield United versus Newcastle. Kick-off, 3 p.m.
On talkSPORT.
He scored! Aston Villa versus Chelsea. Kick-off, 8 p.m.
On talkSPORT.
Oh, brilliant finish!
This Saturday.
On talkSPORT and talkSPORT 2.
We asked you earlier on, are there any other sporting events in which you win a jacket? And he was telling us that Scotty Scheffler added a tartan jacket to his green jacket, having won a tournament at the weekend. There's quite a few people in the world of golf, it seems, just for laughs, because of the Ryder Cup, do it. Where's this one? I didn't put the name on this. Our annual golf trip, the Cats Club Championship winner, obtains the lilac jacket. It's a lilac velvet number. On the first trip, one of the golfers wore an ill-fitting lilac golf top which inspired the prize. Went to France this Friday to play for this year's comp. Wish us luck. We do wish you luck. Thank you very much for that.
Presume it's the same jacket every year, don't buy a new...
No, I think they're just because you wear it for the year, then you ceremonially hand it on. Me and a few mates go to Spain annually to play for the Spanish jacket. It doesn't go into any more detail than that. It's like a little Matadors one. Presented to the winner, they have to wear it until they get home. It's highly coveted, says Cy in North Wales. I don't know, Andy, you may be able to stand this up. Lorraine in Burnley says, if you get to the NFL Hall of Fame, you get a gold jacket.
Oh, I've never heard that.
No, okay. Wear that. And, of course, Lee couldn't resist it. Maybe a Wednesday fan. If Sheffield United fall any further, they'll need a life jacket. So, thank you very much for that. So, we're going to reflect once again. You know, so often is the case around the London Marathon, we find out weird and wonderful ways that people completed the course. And right up there is our next guest, who is a vintner, a wine connoisseur, buyer, and a man who knows his stuff, and decided to incorporate his great love of wine into the London Marathon by having a little slab on each mile of the course. Now, on the face of it, that doesn't sound like the perfect way to refuel for 26 miles of running, but we're delighted to say that the man who did it, Tom Gilby, joins us now. Hi, Tom.
Hi, Paul. How are you?
Yes, yeah, how are you, more to the point? I mean, it's
a great idea.
Is this the first time you've sort of run and drunk wine?
Well, yes, it's the first time I've run and drunk wine. I have done a marathon, but a million years ago in 1996, so I've forgotten the pain.
So where did the idea come? Was it your idea?
No, it was my son's idea. He's 26, and he said, Dad, you're probably not going to win it, and there's a lot of people who'll do a better time than you. You're 52 years old and you know about wine, so I've got a great idea. And so I said, right, I'm game.
And you had a friend on every mile, did you? Had a bottle there that they wouldn't reveal, and you had to guess what you were drinking?
Indeed, and some of them still are friends, but the ones that were around the Isle of Dogs with the sort of petrol station wines are no longer friends.
Yeah, I see. So yeah, how did they go about choosing? Did you give them carte blanche to choose the wines they wanted to choose?
They had carte blanche, and if they were too lazy, my son got them something, and I said to my son 3 days just beforehand, please just tell me what they are, because this is difficult enough as it is. No, that's all. We're going to do this proper.
So how did you train for this? Did you do this during training, or just did normal marathon training?
No, Andy, I was most worried about the wine, because if I'd have fluffed the run, that's fine, but if I'd have fluffed the wines, that would have been a problem.
So career threatening, of course, I guess, yeah.
Well, I knew I could do a wine at 10k and most of it right, but beyond that was a bit of an adventure.
Because I suppose in the end your mouth's sort of drying up, you're running, and you're obviously taking on water as well. All these little things that may affect the palate when you're trying to digest these things. It makes it a lot harder, isn't it, I guess?
Well, particularly once you shove a Lucozade gel in there, definitely. That really breaks things down.
So what was the best wine you encountered? What did they put up for you, your friends?
Well, they stuck the good wines early, so I was longing for a full sense of security, and I hit a Barolo wine 4, and I thought this is going to be okay. It had a lot of nice tannin and good run to carry on.
But then there was some cooking wine at some point, was there? What was the worst?
The worst was Jamshed on stop 14, which is somewhere around the Isle of Dogs that I've never been to before, and I'd recommend that no one ever goes there with Jamshed again.
Very popular supermarket wine, though, of course, Tom, isn't it? Jamshed. You're clearly not a fan.
Not good for marathons.
Oh, okay. Was some so good rather than just have a sip? I would take it you were drinking.
What a nice Petrus, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Petrus stations. Yes.
I wish. Some of the good ones went down, and the bad ones went on the road.
Yeah. It's been pointed out by management here that this is not massively impressive, because Alan Brazil, our morning show presenter, has been having a drink at each ad break for the last 20 years. That is very true. That is very true. So, what was your time like? How do you think the wine consumption affected your time, Tom?
Well, no, I think it was 4:41, and most importantly, I finished, and I was going to do 26 wines, but I couldn't find my end station, which had the nice glass of fizz, so I had to have that later.
Right, okay.
25 wines, but I raised a lot of money for a amazing cause.
Yeah, tell us more about that. Who are you raising money for?
Well, I was running for Sober House Hospice, who looked after my mum in her last few days of life, and they're an amazing team, and the Just Giving page has just been clocking over throughout these last 3 days. I could not have asked for anything more fun and more amazing.
That's fantastic.
You're up to about 13 grand last time I saw.
That's
No,
excellent.
and it was 17 and a half.
Wow.
Absolutely brilliant.
That's good to hear. So we'll from our social media side, we'll put a link out, Tom, to what you did. So any plans to do it again? Will you do Boston, take on some American wines, etc., or sort of Barcelona? You get some decent wine there, I would imagine.
You get some very decent wine. I might do it sitting down though. So in answer to your question, I'm done on running with wine. But if it's to say, shall I do it? I'd say 100%. Have a go.
And since the race, you've had a chance. Have you gone back and you've tried some wine? It doesn't taste any different. You're not sort of triggering. You don't see yourself halfway round the Isle of Dogs sweating cobs, and it doesn't bring back unpleasant memories and put you off of wine forever.
Yeah, well, Jam Shed still tastes like Jam Shed.
The poor old Jam Shed today. I don't think they'll be sponsoring you by the sound of it. But, well, maybe they will. Maybe they're just a decent thing to do. Well, good to talk to you, Tom. Congratulations. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, gents, very much.
There we are. Tom Gilby, their wine connoisseur, vintner, and marathon runner. And we will put out a link
to the London Marathon.
Yeah, sort of mad stuff like that. I mean, you'd say don't try that at home because it's not the way to refuel. But
there's that beer run, isn't there? Beer mile.
That's good. Yeah, I mean a mile. It's not the beer marathon, is it? Morning. That would be that as well.
The single malt marathon. That would be good.
You think so? I don't think it would be. 26 drams.
It would do for me.
Wow. Yeah, what a great idea. Anyway, we're going to talk rugby next. Abby Ward joins us, England Bristol rugby player. She had a break from playing a short while ago to have a baby. And a story's been told, she tells a story, in a new documentary which is available on ITVX. So we'll talk a bit of England rugby. She's back in the fold now. And that experience of taking what was it, just about a 3-month break to give birth and then get back out there and play again. And we'll tell you more about the documentary in a few moments' time. Just a reminder that earlier on we spoke to one of our top team out in Holland, and his words on Arne Slot to Liverpool were, "It's a done deal." That was pretty close to the guy. No doubt in his mind that he's going to be the next Liverpool manager, and we'll be reacting to that, I'm sure, throughout the afternoon and into the evening here on talkSPORT. And we'll bring you the Merseyside derby this evening on talkSPORT, kick-off at 8 o'clock. We'll get an Evertonian take on that match a little bit later on in the show.
Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Get everything you need to conquer the whole job with free delivery 7 days a week on orders over £25 for a job done right.
Hey, you looking for car parts at unbelievable prices? Here at You Pull It, the region's pull your own parts breakers yard. We've got them in the thousands. Headlamps at 28 quid, alloys 30 and batteries 15. A whole engine for just £154. With over 3,000 cars on the ground and new in every day, we've got the parts you need at prices you won't believe. Plus, we also buy scrap cars. You pull, you save. YouPullIt.co.uk. Prices may vary, terms and conditions apply.
Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Join the Toolstation Club today and get 5% off everything. Toolstation, for a job done right.
Welcome to 32 Red Online Casino! Incredible! Play over 500 games, including exclusive slots, the Cube, Tipping Point, and I'm a Celebrity Get Me Out here! Join 32 Red and get a bang tiny welcome bonus up to 150 quid. 150 quid? That's incredible! Visit 32red.com to claim. 18 plus BGambleAware.com. New accounts only. Minimum £10 deposit. Up to 50 times wagering. Max stakes apply. Visit 32red.com for full terms.
Whoa there. Victoria's had a Friday night to remember. But now she's outside in the pouring rain and...
You are joking. Got no data. How are we going to get home?
But then she remembers she's with EE.
Yes, Uber still works.
So then she...
Uber's for me, guys. Come on.
Use essential apps like Uber and WhatsApp even when you run out of data. Search EE.
Stay connected at 0.5 megabits per second. Excludes no frills plans. Terms apply.
Cricket. The unmistakable sound of leather on willow.
Absolute beauty. Fireworks. Power ballads. Anti-shirt cannons. Vitality Blast is
Alexa, turn it down, please.
Another explosive season of T20 cricket launches with Blast Off on the 30th of May. Early bird prices available until the 1st
Alexa,
of May.
turn it down, please.
Vitality Blast. Selected rounds only, terms apply.
In the Toolstation Club, our loyalty is built to last. We give you 5% off everything, every day. It's less searching for sales, more setting standards. It's money off what you need, when you need it. It's putting the power in your hands. And with more savings when you spend, you can keep on raising your level. Sign up online or on the app and join the club today for free. Toolstation. For a job done right. Subject to £75 a month minimum spend, terms and conditions apply.
Let's get the business. Catch something big at your local Admiral Slots Casino, because Big Bass Bonanza can now be played on the high street. Ditch your phone's small screen and bad internet connection and upgrade your gaming experience at Admiral Slots today. Hook some big free spin bonuses and play for up to £500 jackpots at your nearest Admiral Slots Casino. If you're ready to play, spin safe at Admiral Slots, where our friendly team are on hand to help you play responsibly and stay within your limits. Visit admiralslots.co.uk for more. Over 18s only. Please gamble responsibly.
Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent on talkSPORT Drive with Motorpoint. Destination sports conversation fueled by unfiltered opinion with quality guests to standard and a couple of motor mounts. Something's not right, is it? That's rubbish. It's the daily radio road trip that takes you to the farthest corners of the nation's football landscape.
Just a bit flat, chilling out.
Yeah, I think you might be my favourite so far, Mike. Have a wonderful afternoon. talkSPORT Drive this afternoon from 4 on talkSPORT with Motorpoint. There's no car like a car.
talkSPORT Traffic and Travel with My Dear Cooling and Heating. Find an easier route to win air source heat pump projects with My Dear. Win more, earn faster. That's the My Dear idea.
In Yorkshire, the A1M southbound is closed after a collision. It's shut from junction 48 for Boroughbridge along to junction 47 for the A59. In Cheshire, the M6 southbound is partly blocked by a broken down lorry. That's blocking the inside lane at junction 17 for Crewe. And in Hertfordshire, delays on the clockwise M25. That's partly blocked for repairs between Potters Bar junction 24 and Enfield at junction 25. I'm Adam Moore.
Premier League live on talkSPORT 2.
Oh, that's magnificent!
What games are there?
Manchester United versus Sheffield United. Coverage from 7, kick-off 8 p.m.
That is brilliant.
Wednesday night on talkSPORT 2.
It's a sensational goal!
Night goals on talkSPORT 2.
Good afternoon, Paul Hooksby, Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. We did our sports documentary, and there is one available to watch on ITVX currently. Abbey Ward, A Bump in the Road. Abbey is the England and Bristol Bears lock. He took a break from playing, went on maternity leave to have a baby, and was back 4 months later. To add to the interest, the Bristol Bears head coach was Dave Ward, her husband. Part of the decision-making process, which all feeds into a fascinating documentary. And Abby joins us now. Hi, Abby.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Pleasure. I mean, how did the documentary, how did that all come about? What was the process for them sort of following your story?
Yeah, so Sue Ansett, who is one of the producers, along with Ben and Jack Studio, they approached me and said, we're looking to cover a story. They're so great, they've covered a lot of women's sport in particular. And they were like, we look forward to document I guess my journey. I'd been pretty outspoken about wanting to return as quickly as possible post-birth. So yeah, I was more than happy to share that. I wanted to share it because I wanted to increase that visibility, to show the other girls as well what it's like, what it involves, because a lot of the time you're away working by yourself. It's not pretty, the training that you have to do, the long sessions in the dark. So I wanted to put a spotlight on that and I guess just open up the whole conversation.
How soon after the birth did you resume training?
Yeah, so I took 2 weeks maternity, which was my kind of legal requirement, minimum. And when I say that to people, they're like, how did you only just take 2 weeks? I then returned and we had a whole return to play process kind of drawn up. So when I did return, I wasn't straight back onto the rugby pitch. It was very slowly, gradual, like physio exercises, and it would build up into more skills, then into team training, into contact, and then into playing.
Did you set yourself did you say, I want to be back in 4 months, and were there that's what it ultimately was? Did you were there moments where you thought, I'm not ready?
Yeah, you know what, I'm an ambitious person, so I wanted to give myself a target. I love a target, I love a goal, and I love a plan. So yeah, I set that plan as being the first Premiership game of the season, and just how it fell, because the Premiership season actually got pushed back a little bit, it meant that, okay, it would be tough, but it would be doable. I think when I said that, definitely the staff around me, the physios, S&Cs, coaches, were a bit like, okay, right, we've got a job on our hands, but they were amazing. They pulled everything together. I was in very safe hands, and yeah, we were also lucky that everything kind of went to plan. I was also aware that it might not, we might have to push things further back, or, you know, my body might not react the way that I wanted to, but I felt like I built up a good enough base over the years and throughout the pregnancy, because I was always training to allow me to come back in that time frame.
Did you play? Sorry, Paul. Did you play while you were pregnant?
No.
You train though, and we see footage of you training, and you know the bump is there. It's pretty clear, isn't it?
Yeah. So obviously you can't, as rugby is a contact sport, you can't play, but I was able to continue training throughout. When I say training, I was doing weights, I was doing conditioning, running, bike sessions, skills. So running around with a rugby ball in my hand, just not the contact aspect.
Does it feel different now when you came back, sort of having had the baby and everything? Did it sort of feel like a different experience, or did you just pick up where you left off?
Yeah, it definitely is a different experience. I mean, I thought I was busy beforehand, where really I was lying to myself. So things look a little bit different these days. Recovery days are no longer just sitting on the sofa all day. They're very much active recovery days. Hallie is very busy at the moment. So things look a little bit different in that sense, but also, obviously I speak a little bit more about it in the documentary, but the RFU, the maternity policy that they've brought in, means that Hallie can come into camp with me. So whilst I've been away for the Six Nations, she's been coming in alongside, you know, my dad, my stepmom, or my auntie. So again, like, that's something that's been completely new, not just for myself, but for the whole squad. So, but something that has been kind of welcomed, and yeah, it's added a really nice kind of aspect to the environment.
And you came back into the squad for the Six Nations, and big game this weekend, isn't it? Big decider against the French.
Yeah, it's a massive game. Playing France is always a big game. Playing France away is particularly special. It's the most brutal environment you can go into. I personally love it. It is the best game, because you know when you travel away, it will be sold out. As soon as you walk onto the pitch, you'll get booed. As soon as you walk off the pitch of the warm-up, you get booed. As soon as the anthems are done. So it's so hostile, but I think as players, you feed off of that. You love it. It's the games that you want to be involved in. And yeah, I think the Six Nations as a whole, we've been building. I think there was an unbelievable performance last week against Ireland, put 88 points on them, but I think this game will bring something a little bit different.
And I saw a quote from you sort of recently, maybe after the documentary went out, feeling a bit judged by people. You know, there will be people out there with the attitude saying, well, look, you're a mum now, you know, you've got other responsibilities, you shouldn't be going back playing a game like rugby. Has that gone on? Have you seen that?
I wouldn't say, you know, it's particularly bad, but what I would say is, you know, as a mum, there'll always be someone criticising what you're doing, and I think I wanted to say that openly, because every mum feels it. So to the other mums, like, you're not alone. I think the important thing to remember is everyone's individual, and you have to do what works for you. Yeah, I think you see it everywhere. I was just reading an article actually about a performer at Coachella who was back singing 2 weeks after her baby, and people saying she shouldn't be there, she should be at home, and you definitely get that. But I mean, Hallie, my daughter, she's thriving, she loves it, it's great to bring her into this environment. So yeah, I'm doing what works for me.
Do you want her to play when she gets older? Not yet, obviously.
You know what, she can do what she wants. any sport. I played every sport growing up. Rugby was probably one of the latest sports I picked up. So we'll definitely encourage her to pick up a ball of any shape, size, or, you know, running anything that keeps her active, because I think we all know all the different sports we participate in, the values that it brings, I think the friendship that it brings, all of that, it's unbelievable. So yeah, hopefully she'll be involved in some kind of sport.
Nice one. Good to talk to you, Abby. Thanks very much.
Thanks for having me.
There we are, Abby Warner-Dowd, England Bristol Bears rugby player. A Bump in the Road is the documentary. You catch it on ITVX at the moment, telling the story of coming back very quickly after having the baby. It's Paul Hawksbee, Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Tim Vickery will be joining us. We'll have some weird and wonderful stories, I'm sure, from the world of South American football. Our next guest managed to have yesterday in quite a prickly exchange, it seems, with the press and Eric Ten Hag. We had a bit of a laugh with Eric.
Oh, he's a joker, old Eric.
The lighter side.
So funny.
We rarely see the lighter side of Eric Ten Hag, but we're about to. With our guest just after the 3 o'clock sports headlines, and later on we'll continue the build up to tonight in the company. Sam Avery, comedian, Evertonian. Huge night, a big derby, one of the biggest for a while, I'd say. But Everton's record in the derby at Goodison or Anfield is pretty poor. 2010, the last win. And they always, like, you feel they've got inferiority complex, don't you? They always, you never quite believe they think they can win. No. Well, they do need a result tonight. They're still down the bottom. Liverpool need a result as well. It's live on talkSPORT. We'll build up to it a little bit later on.
Hawksbee and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Get everything you need to conquer the whole job with free delivery 7 days a week on orders over £25 for a job done right. Hawksbee and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Get everything you need to conquer the whole job with free delivery 7 days a week on orders over £25 for a job done right.
What a team! What a team!
And to think these lads have never played together and probably never will. That's the beauty of LiveScore Bet squads. It's free to play, and all that counts is putting the ball in the back of the net.
And putting some cash in your pocket.
That too, Steve. LiveScore Bet squads. Every time they score, you score. Up to £50 in cash. Deposited account required. Players revealed Monday to Friday, max 5 per round. Withdrawable cash amount per goal varies. T's and C's apply. Bet responsibly. 18 plus. BeGamblerWare.org.
With the biggest range of cars to buy entirely online, it's no wonder everyone's cinching it.
I cinched it during spin class. I think I'm going to be sick.
I cinched it in this coffee shop.
What are you having?
A 5-door hatchback.
This is your captain speaking. I cinched it before takeoff with a 14-day money-back guarantee.
With so many great reasons to buy, the nation aren't just nailing it, they're cinching it. Comparison against equivalent retailers. Visit cinch.co.uk/range claim. Mileage restrictions and terms apply.
Ooh, must be the new parent posse chat. We're not even new. Our kids are 8. Or, as Eddie says, 96 months. He moved off grid. Can confirm he's still on grid. And he's got another one on the way. He won't have the coverage to live stream the birth, will he?
Well, here at Tesco Mobile, we make sure he has 99% network coverage. So he could if he wanted to.
Oh, sign me up.
It pays to be connected. Tesco Mobile. Every little helps. Over 99% UK population coverage on 4G.
At Morrison's, get 1 litre spirits for just £19. Like Gordon's Gin, Smirnoff Vodka, and Captain Morgan's Spiced Gold. That's more. Ooh, go on. Just a small one.
Morrison's to shop at Morrison's. Majority of stores and online. Subject to availability. Selected bottles, please drink responsibly.
EasyJet's Big Orange Sale is now on. With up to £200 off package holidays, you can save on our already unbeatable prices. Search EasyJet Holidays. Selected dates up to the 31st of October 2025. Booked by 11 p.m. the 30th of April 2024. See price guarantee online. Minimum spend required. As unprotected, T's and C's apply.
1089 and 1053 medium wave on DAB, on the app, on your smart speaker.
Supersized Blu-ray pool with over 50 games of live football.
talkSPORT.
Talk Sport.
With Lookers. Buy or sell your vehicle the simple way. Visit lookers.co.uk.
Yes, our next guest also feels that Eric Ten Hag is deserving of another year. He'll tell us why in a few moments' time. But first, we'll get these sports headlines now. with Tom Clean.
Paul, thank you. Good afternoon. talkSPORT's been told the deal to bring in Arne Slot to Liverpool is as good as done.
We know him quite a bit, and know Feyenoord as well. They're already looking for a new manager. No, it's a done deal.
The Telegraph's Stephen Kuyman speaking to us earlier. He reckons Slot is the right man for the job at Anfield.
He has been always successful, always. Make him the manager of Sunderland, and his team will play attractive football. Will play, what in Rutsville is sexy football.
We'll keep our eyes out in case he's at the Merseyside derby tonight. You can hear it exclusively live on talkSPORT. We also understand both Erik ten Hag and the Manchester United players could be facing a pay cut for missing out on the Champions League. Ten Hag's contract apparently says not qualifying brings a 25% drop in wages. It also means he'd get less compensation if he were to face the sack this summer. Their match against Sheffield United tonight isn't on UK TV. It is on talkSPORT 2. Now, there'll be no Erling Haaland for a second game running tomorrow night. Pep Guardiola says he's not ready. But some good news for City fans. Phil Foden and John Stones are in line to feature. Pep says it's been a tough season due to key injuries, but he's glad they're still fighting at the sharp end.
We won 2 titles this season. We are in the final of the FA Cup. We were at the last stages in Champions League, and Premier League we are there.
And it's understood Nottingham Forest have accepted the invitation to listen to the VAR audio from their 3 penalty claims last weekend. It'll happen in private, despite Forest call to release the audio publicly. There's more on talkSPORT.com.
talkSPORT News.
A governor says 2 teachers have been injured in a suspected stabbing at a school in Wales. 1 arrest has been made, and 3 men have been arrested after the deaths of 5 people, including a 7-year-old girl on a small boat in the Channel. Will has more at 5:30.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Keep spring journeys safe. Visit your local centre or quickfit.com to book your tyres, MOTs and servicing so you can drive away happy every time.
Relatively dry for much of the country, just a few patchy showers in the east and the southwest.
On 1089 and 1053 medium wave, on DAB, online and on your smart speaker. Paul Hawksby and Andy Jacobs on talkSPORT.
Good afternoon, it's Paul Hawksby and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. We will continue build up to a big night of football in the Premier League. 4 games this evening, and Manchester United, Sheffield United is one of them. That's exclusively live over on talkSPORT 2, 8 o'clock. And we're going to talk about Manchester United now, because as you've heard, I'm sure you heard here on talkSPORT, quite a prickly exchange between Erik ten Hag, not happy at the reaction to their performance against Coventry at the weekend, and said he felt that the reaction to it was embarrassing, not the performance, and he took the press on.
Well, no self-awareness.
Before all of that, there was a bit of to-and-fro, a lighter exchange with our next guest, who on Monday wrote a for and against piece for his newspaper, The Guardian, on whether Ten Hag should stay or go. Kind of sense that he was slightly swaying to give him another year, give him a chance under the new regime.
All the other clubs, please do.
Oh, there we are. We want you to stay, says Andy
absolutely.
Jacobs. Of course, we speak to Jamie Jackson from The Guardian. Good afternoon, Jamie.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Well, let's start with you had a bit of a laugh with him, didn't you? He doesn't look like someone that does a lot of stand-up comedy, but what went on?
Yeah, it's not the first time he had a bit of a jocular exchange. I mean, he just walked in and I thought it was past midday, so I said good afternoon, Erik. He said it's actually good morning, and I sort of just said as a little joke, oh, please don't find me.
Yeah.
To which he said, oh, I could do if I want. Sat down, and people were laughing. It's quite a breezy opening. And then, so that's what made it sort of doubly interesting, because actually he's a very cool, calm customer, Erik ten Hag, before the cameras or before us. So that's what then made it, the fact that he'd been jocular, but then, as I say, he's quite calm. A surprise that he was a little bit, as you sort of just said then, Paul, a bit spiky, what he was saying.
He wanted to get that. I mean, he came in saying what he wanted to say. He clearly was not happy with the reaction to the reporting of that. And understandable, really. I mean, and that word embarrassment is a strong word, but
it was embarrassing.
Yeah.
We're 3-0 up against a championship team, and you, by a toenail, you didn't get to the final. Otherwise, they were out of the competition. How is that not embarrassing?
Publicly, you kind of have to protect your players from that, I guess, don't you, Jamie?
Yeah, I mean, if it's sort of the Chelsea manager, for example, Andy, you'd expect him to sort of protect your club and stick up for your team, wouldn't you? I hear what you're saying. Listen, privately...
No, I'd expect him to be honest and say we were really lucky to go through.
He did say we were fortunate. I mean,
yeah. It's the word embarrassing, though, I think he took issue with. And from his point of view, and he makes a very good point, as he said, top football is all about winning and, you know, sort of finals and titles, and they're in another FA Cup final. And, you know, if you step back from, yes, that match, I did that match for the Guardian on Sunday, you know, the semi-final, it was a hair and scare, and classic United recently, Chelsea game, Brentford game, Liverpool as well, Mo Salah's late penalty. It was a mad game. It was a mad game to report on. 22 years I've done this job, that's one of the maddest I've ever reported on. But if you then move away from that, they're in a second consecutive cup final, he's only been there 2 seasons, and yeah, you've been sort of trailing that I think maybe he should be given another season. Actually, what I think is I'd like to see him be given the start of next season with a clear summer, this new structure, hopefully not sort of 60 plus injuries, you know, the start of that happening again, and let's see where he gets in a couple of months, because I just think it's impossible to judge. It's impossible for sort of me to judge, and maybe you two gentlemen, and you know, the listeners, and maybe it is difficult for Jim Ratcliffe and Brailsford and all the rest of the hierarchy there, because how could you possibly tell? You know, at that point, so the piece I wrote on Monday that she quoted, I sort of said in that, the season before last, his first season, with a more healthy squad, he showed what he can sort of do. He walked into a massive mess. He finished third, won the Carabao Cup, got to the FA Cup final. I know, and of course he would say the same, they have to be challenging for the title. I get that, but he did walk into a mess. So I just feel it's very difficult to make a judgment. I would like to see him given, as I say, the first month or so, you know, of the new season. Whether he'll get that, I'm not sure. I do think it's in the balance with regard to his job. I don't think they've made a decision yet. I do think it could still go either way. Yeah, listen, it might be more inclined, you know, looking at that game on Sunday and previous, is this the guy for us? But I do feel, the other thing to throw in there, right, it's interesting. If you think that Dan Ashworth, who's coming in as a sporting director, is not due in there, well, we think maybe September. How can they possibly sack a guy, if the sporting director, the football director, yeah, the new head of football, the expert, is not there to do that job? You understand what I mean? Because it's like, why have you got Dan Ashworth coming in if you're getting rid of a manager before, you know, he's in place? That's another maybe factor in it.
I would imagine. We know he's sitting in his garden.
I've been shocked by United this year. I mean, I support a basket case of a club, but at least there have been times when they've played really good football. I think United have been the worst of the top teams. Even when they've won, you thought, blood, they're so lucky to get away with that. They rely on those top players. They've got to come up with moments. I don't see any pattern of play. I don't see any improvement. I don't see it. For me, I can't see what he's doing.
Listen, I take on board what you're saying. I think you make some great points there, Andy. What I would say about his pattern of play, if you look back at, because I have done this, you look back at tapes of his Ajax team, it is a bit of a sort of hair and scare style that he played, in that he's very vulnerable at the back. You know, and I think that's something that he will have to address. If he's got any chance of staying on, I'm sure if Ashford and Wilcox, sort of football experts going in there, have got anything about them, they'll be saying to him, look, you have to be more pragmatic. I mean, you know, I could also look at the other way and say, why does a guy who's managing Manchester United need to be told to be more pragmatic on occasion? So I take your point, Andy, with what you're saying. So, you know, it is up in the air. But he has had, you know, he's had the Jadon Sancho thing, and Anthony's off-field issue. Mason Greenwood, you know, at the very start of the season, what was going to happen there? That was in the balance. I think he probably thought he was going to have Greenwood this season, for better or worse. But wherever you think of that decision, and then it's changed. So he's had a lot of things to contend with, and I still feel he's got to an FA Cup final. You know, they beat Liverpool en route there. I know that they kind of stunk the place out at Wembley, you know, from 71 minutes onwards. But I still feel there is evidence there for him to be given another chance. I'm probably in a minority of one in the whole football world.
When you say they did beat Liverpool, blimey, they were the worst team on the day. They were so lucky to win that
There's
game.
been a lot of games. I mean, look, Wilcox, who is there, and Dan Ashworth, when he comes in, they'll be sounding out the players as well. Do you sense with the players you speak to, I'm sure off the record, having him? I mean, what sort of reaction do you get to the players, and what's the feeling you get around the place with the players' reaction to him? Because we know that often feeds into a decision.
Yeah, I think the sort of core, what we'd all imagine would be his sort of first 11 and beyond are having him. Obviously, you're going to have disgruntled players who are not in the team. You always get that. You know, going to pick holes in any manager. But I think that is one thing he has got. I just feel that listen, I get it that some of these performances have not been great, and there's all this stuff about does Rashford trap back. But some of the comebacks, or some of, you know, the way they've hung in games, I don't really think we would get that if the players were, you know, most of the players are sort of only partially switched on. So I think he still does have the dressing room. It's never an exact size, as I'm saying. And as you say, this is the sort of thing Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Sir Dave Brailsford are, you know, sort of assessing. Because, you know, part of this is who do they get? I know that's not necessarily a reason not to sack any manager, but also you start again a new cycle. And I just wonder when they'll look at it and think, basically what I'm saying. I mean, the other thing to throw in there is they do fancy Gareth Southgate. Now, obviously, he's going to be on England duty for the Euros. There is a school of thought that if they continue with Ten Hag, they know that maybe once the season starts, they can get Southgate then, because obviously they can't get him, you know, at the start of the summer or during the summer because for the Euros.
Yeah, I mean, again, it depends what you're getting. If you get a manager that just won the Euros or come pretty close, if you get a manager, I don't think this is going to happen, but if we have a terrible Euros, you're kind of getting damaged goods in. You know, it's a difficult one.
It is difficult. I also think
that'll be Eric thanking you for your support, Jamie, on the phone.
the defensive problems, I mean, in terms of, all right, one got overturned, but especially 5 penalties in 4 games. That's not good enough either.
Jamie, good to talk to you, and we'll catch up with you soon. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Jamie Jackson there, the Guardian's man in Manchester. Manchester United, Sheffield United live tonight. City are in action at the Amex tomorrow night against Brighton. Pep has been chatting to the press today, did reveal that Erling Haaland won't be available to play. And interestingly, he was asked, does it get easier each time he faces Roberto De Zerbi?
Harder. Admiration is growing up every season, so they had a lot of problems. Important players was sold and like Colwill, like McAllister, Caicedo, so they're really important players for us. They have a lot of injuries. They play through competitions, but the way they play always is there. So Don is doing an incredible job in Brighton.
It's not the sort of question he's going to say, yes, it does get easier.
Well, they always say the other one's great.
But no, look, yes, he has done an amazing job there. And again, another club that had a lot of injuries. But yes, that game tomorrow evening, we'll bring you that one live on talkSPORT. 8 o'clock kick-off for that one. 4 games tonight, including the Merseyside derby. We'll continue looking ahead to that. Tim Vickery's going to join us from Rio with the very latest on the world of South American football. And that's all to come. We're here with our very good friends at Toolstation, celebrating over 100 years to walk with great deals across the range.
Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Get everything you need to conquer the whole job with free delivery 7 days a week on orders over £25 for a job done right. Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Conquer the entire job faster and easier with click and collect to over 550 stores nationwide for a job done right.
Hey, Harry. Hello, mate. Got a nap lined up for today. Listen, pal, I may not look like the young stallion I once was, but I'm still fit as a fiddle, I'll have you know. No, Harry, that's not what I meant. I'm not even that old. I do boxercise 3 times a week, and my trainer says... No, I mean the horses. Your Nap, your Napoleon, your best bet. Oh, well, you should have said that. My best bet will be to head over to Bet Victor and check out the latest offers they have on the horses. Listen to Harry. Make your best bet on the racing at Bet Victor. 18 plus, BeGambleAware.org.
Here's an offer from Volkswagen we think you'll approve of. Get 5.9% APR representative on an all-electric approved used Volkswagen ID4 or ID5 up to 36 months old on Solutions PCP and 2 years servicing. Your Volkswagen approved used retailer will also include 2 years warranty and 2 years roadside assistance as standard. An all-electric ID4 or ID5 to drive away today. What's not to approve of? Don't miss out. Offer ends April 30th. Search Volkswagen approved used ID.
Indemnities may be required. At participating retailers, vehicles up to 100,000 miles with activation. ID4 and ID5 models only. Volkswagen Finance.
Licking your chickeny fingers while gazing into your co-worker's eyes is not appropriate. Taking a bite of a Twister wrap while gazing into your co-worker's eyes is totally appropriate. So be a good workmate and get yourself a KFC lunch meal deal from just $5.49.
It's workplace appropriate for when finger licking is not. Weekdays until 3 p.m. In-store at participating restaurants only. See kfc.co.uk for full T's and C's.
With Now, you can stream all the drama of the Premier League instantly and without a contract.
Absolutely brilliant.
This Sunday, two of the title contenders are in action as Tottenham take on Arsenal in the North London derby before Nottingham Forest face Man City at the City Ground. Get all Sky Sports channels for a day or a whole month with a Now Sports membership. Stream the race for the title live this Sunday from 2 p.m. Head to nowtv.com.
18 plus Sky Sports content streamed via internet. Full terms apply.
Righty here. Just giving the new Gillette Labs razor a go, and it's smooth. 5 long-lasting blades, and it's got a flex disc to adapt to my gorgeous face. Done in no time, then it goes back on its magnetic stand for a finish almost as good as one of mine. And if you don't agree it's the ultimate shave, get your money back. 18 plus, retain receipt, terms and conditions apply.
talkSPORT Traffic and Travel with My Dear Cooling and Heating. Find an easier route to win heat pump chiller projects with My Dear. Win more, earn faster. That's the My Dear idea.
In North Yorkshire, the A1N is still closed southbound after a collision. It's shut from Borough Bridge at junction 48 along to the A59 turn-off at junction 47. In Cheshire, the M6 southbound is partly blocked by a broken-down lorry just by junction 17 for Crewe. And in Hertfordshire, the M25 is queuing clockwise. It's partly blocked for repairs between Potters Bar at junction 24 and Enfield at junction 25. I'm Adam Moore.
Here's Premier League live on talkSPORT.
Everton versus Liverpool.
In the Merseyside derby.
Coverage from 7, kick-off from 8 p.m.
What a turn! What a goal!
Wednesday night on talkSPORT.
Give us a go.
Paul Hawksby and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. We now head to South America.
Lovely.
And chat to Tim Vicker about the world of South America. What's happened to Tim's music?
Tim's music.
Tim has a little bit of music every week. Oh, they've lost his music. That's not a good sign, is it? We'll get it back for next week. Sorry, Tim. Good afternoon.
We're going to have to sing ourselves now. It's like getting a dog and barking yourself.
Yes, we could all. I'm sure the listeners are humming along. They know the tune by now after all these years. And we want to start on a serious note, though. Carlos Tevez, we hear, has been taken to hospital with chest pains. They made a number of the papers today. What's the latest?
Well, this is a little bit worrying because he's only 40. Independiente, the club where he's coached, they're trying to play it down and say this is routine, but it's clearly not. It's clearly more than that. And it's a stressful club, Independiente. When he took the job, the second coaching job, it was August of last year, no one wanted it. It was offered to others, no one wanted it. It was just seen as a time bomb that was ticking away. And I think he's just fallen out with his assistant who's walked. So there's extra stress. He's done a very good job there, really. They were in danger of relegation when he took them over, and he steadied the ship quite modestly as well. I mean, they lost the big local derby to Racing, and he was saying afterwards, I'm not that good as a coach. He was kind of playing it down a little bit. But you just wonder now, as he lies in a hospital bed doing tests, you wonder whether he's thinking, do I need this? Is it worth it? And we never imagined that he'd be a coach. Lots of Argentine players, you can see them as coaches. Lots of them. Tevez, you never imagined to be one of them. He's done it. He's done pretty well. But there must be a thought going around his head. Do I really need this? Could I just spend my time just playing golf?
After the time in China, the money he made, he certainly doesn't need to work for anything, does he?
But, I think, it's a son of Boca. I think he'd love to be the coach there eventually. So
We wish him well. We'll keep an eye on that story for you. Hope he's okay. Talking of Boca, when Boca Juniors played River in the big Buenos Aires derby, you don't have fans of the opposition, and you were there. You were at River recently. There were no Boca fans on show, apart from you. Kept your head down.
And the bloke from Radio Boca.
That's it. And he's a brave man to go in there. But they've recently played with both sets of supporters in the stadium. Did it go off okay, Tim?
It did, yes. It was in Cordoba. This was the quarter-final. It's a one-off game, the quarter-final of the current Argentine Championships. River were very, very much the favourites and took an early lead, and Boca came back with some VAR controversy. Football has to have VAR controversy these days because River thought they'd gone 2-1 up. With a, did it cross the line? Did it cross the line? The referee said yes. VAR in the end said no. But it's all a little bit inconclusive. But Boca hit back to win 3-2 with Cavani and his fellow Uruguayan striker Merentiel doing well. Cavani, they finally found a supply line for him. It's this left-footed midfielder Zenon, who's come from nowhere, and he's doing really, really well. And after struggling, Cavani now that left foot of Zenon is helping him out. Cavani is doing well, and this was a famous victory for Boca, and it makes such a difference having two sets of supporters in the ground. What did you think, Andy, of the atmosphere in River Plate Stadium with only River fans?
Well, it was still amazing, absolutely incredible, but it's not quite the same. And I've been impressed with Cavani. His finishing, he can still finish. You know, obviously, because he's old. But, yeah, well, you know, he's still got that about him.
We're going to come on to some old strikers later on that we're aware of. But John Textor, you've told us about this before. He's started a bit of a crusade. He owns Botafogo, he owns Leon and Palace, of course, here, the businessman. But he's going on a crusade about match manipulation in Brazilian football. And yeah, he's on the front foot with all these kind of corruption allegations, isn't he?
He's taken it to Congress. He's been at Congress. Congress has set up a special commission to look at match manipulation. I think Textor here is trying to confuse a number of things. He's trying to confuse because there's huge amounts of betting money is coming to Brazil. Now this has been legalized. All kinds of, so there are new opportunities. So he's trying to confuse this kind of match manipulation for profit with the fact that his team, Botafogo, did a Devon Lock last year. They were miles clear, and they ended the season 11 games without a win, and didn't even finish in the top 4 in the end. So he's saying, number one, there's a lot of match manipulation. Number two, the whole thing has been a conspiracy against my club in favour of Palmeiras. And at that stage, it starts to go a little bit hazy, I think. But a lot of the evidence that he's producing is based on artificial intelligence. It's an artificial intelligence program that kind of judges every movement by every player during every game. And he's in a secret session at Congress, he's named names of players who he says artificial intelligence means they weren't trying hard enough in specific games. Where all this is going to go, I really don't know.
But then he fell off his skateboard and broke his elbow.
58 years old, fell off his skateboard, and he says, grow up, John Textor, which is, you think, I mean, you're never too old. I can see you playing a bit of Avril Lavigne on your Walkman, on your skateboard, coming along. Fair enough. James, let's talk about James. Interesting on a night where Everton playing in the derby. How's he getting on these days? Who's he playing for, and is he playing well?
He's playing for Sao Paulo, and he's hardly playing. Right. It's 10 years on from his World Cup. And I remember at the time, during the World Cup, I think it was on this station, Ray Houghton saying when he went to Real Madrid, he's not quite quick enough. And I think that's so true. That was a brilliant, brilliant observation. Because he's not quite quick enough to be the key player in the biggest teams that he wanted to be. I think the subsequent 10 years, as well as lots of injury problems, there's also been him dealing with that frustration of not being quite as good as he thought he was going to be. So he's gone around the world, being a headache, most places that he's gone. And he's been at Sao Paulo for a few months now, and he's done almost nothing. He's been injured for a lot of the time, and they've just got a new, this is just in a few months, the third coach having to deal with the James Rodriguez riddle. And he's the second highest player in the squad. The first is Lucas Moura, later our parish ball. And so you're expecting something from him. But so far, there's nothing there. The new coach is an Argentine, Zubelgia. He's saying he's going to give him different treatments. Colombia seems to have found the formula. And it was clearly a factor in Colombia not qualifying for the last World Cup. You know, that run they had of lots and lots of games without scoring a goal. Recently, the coach now, a former Swindon Town defender, how many times can you say that a former Swindon Town defender is coaching Colombia, Néstor Lorenzo, he seems to have got him firing on all cylinders, with James playing deeper, supplying from deep Luis Diaz. So James makes the ball move, and Luis Diaz moves. So you've got the pace of James putting pace on the ball, and Luis Diaz there with pace, and they beat Spain and they beat Romania, and James was fantastic in both of those games. But that's a new riddle that a new coach in Sao Paulo, it's an old riddle that a new coach in Sao Paulo is going to have to work out. It has been so frustrating because everywhere he's gone, he's left little memories, little things of how good he can be. But the whole doesn't add up to a lot, doesn't add up to anything like the amount that it could have been. I think the key part of that is frustration of being not quite as good as he thought he was going to be.
Sydney and Blackburn fans will be interested to know that Roque Santa Cruz is still playing. He's going to be playing in the Libertadores Cup this evening. He plays for Libertad, is that right? Of Paraguay.
Libertad, yeah.
And he's one of two over 40 strikers they have in the team. It's like the Wild Geese, isn't it? The old Richard Burton film.
Yeah, he might not get a game because they've got to choose between, are they going to play him up front? They do sometimes, 42-year-old Roque Santa Cruz, or are they going to play the former Benfica striker? Did very well against English teams, if I remember, the left-footed Oscar Cardozo, who's a mere spring chicken at 41. Also in the squad, and I don't think he's getting a regular game, he might be on the bench, Christian Riveros, who had a spell at Sunderland, he's in his early 40s. The goalkeeper, Martin Silva, was Uruguay's backup goalkeeper for years, he's in his early 40s. It's Dad's arm. But this really does.
Libertad vets, this is the young vets team. The old vets are turning out as well.
This really is a little snapshot of South American football because the other team, River Plate of Argentina, the fellow who's been leading their charge this season is the 18-year-old who's joining Man City, Echeverri. This is his season of consolidation. And there are a few others coming up at River as well. So you've got River and his army of teenagers against the Dad's army of Libertad. And that's what a lot of South American football is. It's a little bit like a donut. You get the promises and you get the veterans. Those in the middle, they're playing on a field somewhere near you.
We'll have to see if River Plate like it up or not, won't we, this evening? Cheers, Tim. We'll catch up with you next week.
Look forward to it. Cheers.
Tim Vickery, our man on South American football. We're still going to look ahead to the Merseyside derby tonight, live on talkSPORT. 8 o'clock kick-off. Sam Avery joins us, comedian and Everton fan. Not had much to laugh about recently, but a couple of good results has got Everton believing.
Oh yeah.
But they never seem to believe against Liverpool in the derby, do they? So in 2010, we think the last victory. How's Sam viewing tonight? We'll be chatting to him before we hand over to Andy Goldstein and Darren Ben with Drive. We've got a Palace challenger for you next, and more of your emails, texts and tweets.
Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Join the Toolstation Club today and get 5% off everything. Toolstation, for a job done right.
Hey, you looking for car parts at unbelievable prices? Here at You Pull It, the region's pull your own parts breakers yard, we've got them in the thousands. Headlamps at 28 quid, alloys 30 and batteries 15. A whole engine for just £154. With over 3,000 cars on the ground and new in every day, we've got the parts you need at prices you won't believe. Plus, we also buy scrap cars. You pull, you save. youpullit.co.uk. Prices may vary, terms and conditions apply.
£10,000 every month for 30 years. Set for life. Play now on the National Lottery app. Terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
Wash and win with Karcher. Purchase a Karcher pressure washer from the K3 to K7 series and you're guaranteed to win a gift voucher or a luxury garden prize. You could be taking a dip in your inflatable hot tub or hosting a party with a new pizza oven. Karcher wants you to enjoy your garden this spring. Don't miss out from the 25th of March to the 27th of May. Shop Karcher online or in-store at selected retailers. Terms and conditions apply. Visit www.winwithkarcher.com.
At Lidl, we're always big on quality and little on price. With super-powered savings on all your weekly staples, fresh deals on your 5-a-day and big brands that don't break the bank. You could save over £35 by switching from Sainsbury's to Lidl with this week's big shop at lidl.co.uk/save. Prices check 15th of April 24. Sainsbury's also sell other products. See online for more details.
Here's an offer from Volkswagen we think you'll approve of. Get 5.9% APR representative on an all-electric approved used Volkswagen ID4 or ID5 up to 36 months old on Solutions PCP and 2 years servicing. Your Volkswagen approved used retailer will also include 2 years warranty and 2 years roadside assistance as standard. An all-electric ID4 or ID5 to drive away today. What's not to approve of? Don't miss out. Offer ends April 30th. Search Volkswagen approved used ID.
Indemnities may be required. At participating retailers, vehicles up to 100,000 miles of activation. ID4 and ID5 models only. Volkswagen Finance.
Travis Perkins have got tons of perks. Travis Perks. To help you with your landscaping jobs. Take Travis Perk number 24. Save 15% on their entire gardens and driveways range. Online only with code SPRING15. So you can spring into action and see what I did there.
Yes.
And Travis Perk number 11. A massive range of hire kit to put you on the right garden path. Garden path.
We'll cut that out.
Find more Travis Perks at travisperkins.co.uk. Terms apply.
I love goals galore. Both teams to score is the bet for me. It's always alive, is that bet?
At Betfred, when both teams score, it's goals galore. With our goals galore bonus coupon, pick 3 or more games from a list of fixtures where you think both teams will score. A £10 stake on 3 correct selections will return £55, and 4 correct selections will return £100. Love football? Betfred. In-store and online. 18 plus T&Cs apply. Minimum 3 selections. 90 minutes only. All returns include stay for gambleaware.org.
On DAB, online, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT. talkSPORT. News.
Tony Goldstein, Darren Beck with you at 4, building up to the 4 games tonight, available on the talkSPORT app or here on talkSPORT, over on talkSPORT 2. We'll continue the build up in the next half hour, but first Will Hobbs has the news headlines.
Thanks, Paul. It's emerged a female pupil has been arrested after 3 people, including 2 teachers, were injured at a school in Wales. Children are now leaving the secondary school in Carmarthenshire after what's thought to have been a stabbing attack. It's unclear at this point if any children have been hurt. The school says the incident has now been contained. Rishi Sunak insists his plan to raise defence spending is fully funded and he announced a new era of military investment.
The old paradigm is no longer the case and we have to adjust for the new paradigm. We will do what's necessary to keep our country safe, our continent safe, and defend our values.
The PM and his German counterpart have committed to defending Ukraine for as long as it takes. It's expected tens of thousands of civil service jobs will go to afford it. Angela Rayner's told the Tories to focus on helping victims of no-fault evictions rather than obsessing over her council house investigations. MPs are due to vote on banning so-called Section 21s later today. And the runaway horses in central London who've hospitalised 4 people have now all been caught. They initially bolted due to noise from Buckingham Palace builders. One horse appeared to be drenched in blood.
talkSPORT with Bostik. If you're looking for a professional grade sealant that offers technologically advanced performance, choose Bostik Pro Sealants.
Football's been told Arnie's slot to Liverpool is a done deal and there'll be no Erling Haaland for City tomorrow night. Tom has more at 4.
I'm Jeff Stelling. It's a massive week, crammed full of live and exclusive Premier League football on talkSPORT, talkSPORT 2 and the talkSPORT app. Superb! Tonight from 7:45, Wolves take on Bournemouth live on the talkSPORT app. And he scored! From 8, 3 more live and exclusive Premier League showdowns happen all at the same time. Crystal Palace face Newcastle on the talkSPORT app. Brilliant save! Manchester United clash with Sheffield United on talkSPORT 2 with Everton versus Liverpool in the Merseyside derby live on talkSPORT. What a goal! Strap yourself in for 4 Premier League midweek matchups live and exclusive on talkSPORT, talkSPORT 2 and the talkSPORT app.
Paddy's Challenge on talkSPORT with Hawksby and Jacobs. What critics are calling one of the many radio quiz segments happening this week. Paddy Power. 18 plus begambler.org.
Before we get underway, apologies to Evertonians. I forgot that winning, the kind of COVID times win for Everton. They beat Liverpool 2-0 at Anfield, so that has been a bit of an outlier though in recent years. But anyway, we'll build up to the Merseyside derby after we brought you Paddy's Challenge, our quiz for charity in association with our friends and official betting partner Paddy Power. In Paddy's Challenge, we put our knowledge of the weird and wonderful world of sport to the test with the chance of raising lots of cash for our nominated charities. I'm playing for the Sporting Memories Network and is raising funds for the Willow Foundation. And helping to manage proceedings and ensure fair play at all times, not Ben Fletcher today. He's not feeling too well. We wish
Fletch, all the best. But our producer, our new producer, has had to step in. Rufus, good afternoon, Rufus.
Good afternoon, Paul and Andy.
You may, if you listen to the Sports Bar, if you were a creature of the night, you'll be aware that that was Rufus's previous gig. He was our assistant producer for a number of years in the past, and
this is your life.
Your bio, penny picks. One of his great claims to fame was once phoning the late great John Motson and saying, "Hello, Motty, it's Rufus." And Motty said, "Ruthless," which we always thought was a much better name for him, but you couldn't think of anybody less ruthless.
Credit on the clips, Ruthless.
Less ruthless if you tried.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Rufus, explain how this all works.
I certainly will. Hello. So
Don't build your part, mate. Just get on with it.
So in Paddy's challenge, you will be each be asked 3 multiple choice questions posed by the voice of Paddy Power, Alistair McGowan.
Yeah. We won't go into your link with him.
I once went to a birthday party and he was there.
Oh,
I think he was anyways.
Okay, don't tell that one. Yeah.
I was like 8 or something.
Okay.
The winner will be the player that scores the most points, and in the event of a tie, you will both win the chance to raise some cash for your charities.
Yeah.
Last time we played, it was a tie, and you both placed your bets on the second leg Champions League quarter-final between Manchester City and Real Madrid. Paul, you had Phil Foden to score, but only Kevin De Bruyne found the back of the net on the night. Andy, you had City to qualify, but as we know it, it wasn't to be, with the Spanish side going through to the semis on penalties 4-3. Let's see if we can raise some more money for your charity.
Any money.
Yeah, some money, anything.
So who's going to start? We have Fletch always comes up with a virtual coin toss, so you just choose one of them.
Andy.
Andy, okay.
You started first the last couple of
Okay, Andy's going to go off first. Right, okay. So it's one set of questions normally easier than others. Maybe we should take that chase route where one of us says question A or question B, but it doesn't matter, we've done it now. Andy, you're going to kick us off. It is a bit, it has complicated it a bit. Yeah. No replays though after the first round. So, here we go.
Arsenal's 2-0 win over Wolves last weekend marked their longest scoring streak against the same opponent in the club's history. In how many successive matches against Wolves have Arsenal now scored? A. 44, B. 33, or C. 22?
Even the Wolves historian struggled with that.
Really?
Yeah.
There was quite a period where they didn't play. For some reason, I'm going to go 22. I don't know why.
Oh, okay. It was B. 33.
It's always B. I don't know why.
Trossard's 14th goal of the season in all competitions helped secure the record and the win.
Yeah. Okay, well, you're a goonie. You would have enjoyed that.
My friend has Trossy Flossy tattooed to his leg.
Trossy Flossy?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
What does it mean?
I don't know. It's like, you know, the floss. Everyone. This is very much off script. You know, you did the floss back in the day. That was a thing, and you thought it was fine when they signed Trossard, so they got Trossy Flossy.
Great. Brilliant. Okay, so on to my question.
Question 1.
Arsenal made history in their 2-0 win against Wolves at Molineux last Saturday night when they set a new club record for securing how many away league clean sheets in a row? A. 8, B. 7, or C. 6?
Well, on the basis this always be, Andy, I'm going to say 7.
I think it's 8.
Oh dear.
It was C. 6. Leandro Trossard, Trossy Flossy, and Martin Odegaard found the back of the net in either half as the Gunners moved a point clear of Man City and now 4 points clear.
Okay, right, fair enough. So back to Andy, not a good start for us.
Question 2, Andy.
Last weekend's Scottish Grand National ended in a photo finish, but which 18-to-1 horse took the win? A. Iron Bridge, B. McDermott, or C. Surrey Quest?
Funny enough, I didn't watch the race. So I was at Wembley, so I don't know. The second one.
Can't all be B.
Yeah.
Oh,
brilliant.
Runner-up Surrey Crest was also a long odds at 20-to-1.
Wow, excellent. You have the odds forecast on that.
Paul, question 2.
Manchester United broke a long-standing record with their FA Cup win over Coventry last weekend. It's the first time in how many years that the Red Devils will compete in back-to-back FA Cup finals? A. 99, B. 129, or C. 139?
Oh dear. 99.
That record C. 139. That record is also held by Manchester City in the United League final after they overcame Chelsea, Andy, last Saturday.
Yeah. Okay, well, these are tough questions, aren't they? We've got a bit of a fighting chance.
They are quite tricky.
Yeah, but even the sort of head of the National Football Museum would be struggling with these. Give us a moment.
They decide to make us look stupid.
Well, yeah, well, they're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Right, third one for Andy.
Golf fans were left in hysterics when TV images appear to show Tiger Woods in deep conversation with which inanimate object at the Masters? A, his golf bag. B, a tree. Or C, a flag.
I'm getting tree.
Good one. Oh, yeah. That's it. I would have gone tree, Andy. I think that's enough to win it, isn't it, really?
I think as all viewers would see, all viewers could see was an extended hand poking out from the bark. It was revealed to belong to legendary US commentator Vern Lundquist.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Vern.
Yeah. So that, I mean, that is it, really.
Well, I mean,
John, your question.
We'll do the last one for fun. Yeah. That's it. Okay.
Question 3.
Snooker player Joe O'Connor got his Crucible debut off to a nightmare start last weekend when he was introduced to the crowd. And did what? A, fell down the steps. B, forgot his cue. Or C, went the wrong way.
Well, I'd probably go 1 or 3. Went the wrong way. Fell down the steps. I'll go fell down the steps, hey. Oof. Oh, God.
It was C, went the wrong way. When his time to walk out came, he began striding forwards, only to quickly realise that he had gone the wrong way. He then turned around to walk in the right way, wearing a sheepish grin on his face.
I was hoping he was going to forget his cue, like that well-known trumpet player who forgot his trumpet.
Yeah, well, I can't tell that story, I'm afraid. That'll be that.
The smell of the crucible is disorientating.
It might have been. 2-0.
What a
Congratulations, Andy. You are today's winner, and you have won a free £20 bet that Paddy Power will place for you, so you can try and win some cash for your charity.
You won last night. Arsenal beat Chelsea 5-0, didn't you? What do you need?
I'm going to go for Diogo Jota to score a goal at any time.
Okay.
I think he might be out for a couple of weeks.
Getting injured, yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. I didn't see that.
It's a long shot, that one.
Okay, I'll go Luis Diaz.
Okay, fair enough. Fantastic. So, there we are. Thank you very much, Rufus.
A pleasure.
Okay, well, yeah, sounds like it. So, well done. Anyway, that was this week's Paddy's Challenge. Thanks to our friends at Paddy Power. 18+ be gambleaware.org. We will be looking ahead to the Merseyside derby in a few moments' time.
Paddy's Challenge on talkSPORT with Paddy Power. 18+ be gambleaware.org.
Hawksby and Jacobs on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Join the Toolstation Club today and get 5% off everything. Toolstation, for a job done right.
Hey, you looking for car parts at unbelievable prices? Here at You Pull It, the region's pull your own parts breakers yard, we've got them in the thousands. Headlamps at 28 quid, alloys 30 and batteries 15. A whole engine for just £154. With over 3,000 cars on the ground and new in every day, we've got the parts you need at prices you won't believe. Plus, we also buy scrap cars. You pull, you save. YouPullIt.co.uk. Prices may vary, terms and conditions apply.
Get their customers 3 grand back. I like them. I like them. Let's get the ball rolling. Search Rift Tax Refunds.
At Morrison's, get 1 litre spirits for just £19. Like Gordon's Gin, Smirnoff Vodka and Captain Morgan's Spiced Gold. That's more. Ooh, go on. Just a small one. Morrison's to shop at Morrison's. Majority of stores and online. Subject to availability. Selected bottles, please drink responsibly.
Get that Euro Millions feeling this Friday. 10 UK winners are guaranteed to be millionaires. That's 10 more reasons to dance. 10 more robots, 10 more Limburgs, 10 more salsas. 10 UK winners are guaranteed to be millionaires this Friday. Euro Millions from the National Lottery. Play on app. Account terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
And there it is. That's as good as it gets on this stage. Nissan Townstar EV strikes again. It's an unstoppable van. Unstoppable.
Look, just fantastic. You can actually see the ProPilot technology in action. Effortless parallel parking.
It moves with all the confidence that comes with a 5-year warranty.
And with a bench full of all-star van experts, there's real strength in depth here.
That's all-star quality.
Search Nissan Townstar EV and visit your local all-star van centre to see for yourself.
Terms and conditions apply. 5 years or 100,000 miles, whichever comes first.
ProPilot is an advanced driver assist technology. Driver's responsibility to stay alert, drive safely, and control vehicle at all times.
Let me introduce one coat everywhere. So you paint. One coat everywhere. Bedrooms, bathrooms, backrooms. One coat everywhere. Shelving, ceiling, stripes. One coat everywhere. No second coat. One coat. You get it, right? One coat everywhere from Ron Seal. Does exactly what it says on the tin. Obviously, it can't be used literally everywhere. Surfaces may be prepped, seated for limitations.
Here they are, the racing lovers of the UK, phone in hand, ready to play the Coral Reward Shaker. Look at them shake. We've got the regulars at the racecourse shaking their phone with confidence. And look, they've won an odds booster. Wannabe tipsters opting for a shake technique they heard through their barber's cousins. Theirs must have worked. They've won a free test. Play Coral's free reward shaker to win guaranteed daily rewards and offers. Coral, we're here for it.
18 plus UK. Max one reward or offer per player per day. Reward restrictions, requirements and T's and C's apply. Take time to think.
talkSPORT traffic and travel with MyDear Cooling and Heating. Find an easier route to win air conditioning, split system projects with MyDear. Win more, burn faster. That's the MyDear idea.
In North Yorkshire, the A1M southbound is still closed after a collision. Shut from Borough Bridge at junction 48 along to junction 47 for the E9. In Surrey, the M25 is queuing anti-clockwise. 2 lanes blocked there for a breakdown between Chertsey at junction 11 and junction 10 for the A3. And in Berkshire, the M4 eastbound is partly blocked by a breakdown between junction 12 at Field and junction 11 for Reading. I'm Adam Moore.
Premier League live on the talkSPORT app.
Oh, it's in!
Get stuck in.
Crystal Palace versus Newcastle.
It's not on the telly. Kick-off at 8 p.m.
Wednesday night on the talkSPORT app.
When you do the business, you don't expect the points to be taken off you. So you've got to get yourself up again to go again.
It's Everton 2, Nottingham Forest 0, and it was a tremendous strike by Dwight McNeil.
We're a constant work in progress. We're fighting lots of different battles. We're fighting lots of different problems. We're trying to lift the negative that's been here for 3 years.
And Everton are safe for the second season running. They've left it very late.
I think the vast majority of the Reds will not want Everton to go into the Championship.
It's Fulham 1, Liverpool 3. Diogo Jota with the third, and it's a win that shows that Liverpool will not throw the towel in on their title challenge yet.
74 points, fighting with 2 of the best football teams in the world. For the crown of the Premier League, it's absolutely crazy.
What an epic battle we have unfolding for the right to be called the Premier League champion.
Yeah, it's a huge game this tonight at both ends of the table. Everton looking to get a bit of distance from the bottom 3 after that win against Forest.
It was a good win, though. I mean, especially after getting such a thrashing at Chelsea.
Slightly contentious, but maybe we'll touch on that.
Yeah,
but Liverpool looking for their centenary victory over Everton. And apart from the little COVID era win by Everton, which was a bit of an outlier really in recent years, Everton have found it tough against Liverpool. Let's find out how confident the Evertonians are through comedian and Evertonian Sam Avery. Hey, Sam.
Hi, fellas.